I'm Sandra, and I'm just the professional your small business was looking for. But you didn't hire me because you didn't use LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn has professionals you can't find anywhere else, including those who aren't actively looking for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role, like me.
In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you'll miss out on great candidates like Sandra. Start hiring professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
yada yada.
And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house and owning it. Having an advocate who can help you navigate negotiations, timelines, inspections, and more can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Hey, Whatcom County, the holidays are over and lots of Americans are financially drained. Luckily, Bayside Coin and Jewelry pays top dollar for scrap gold, jewelry, and gold, silver, or platinum coins. If you have a pile of old jewelry or a stash of silver dollars, bring them into the store and see what they're worth. Or visit PacificRimCoins.com/calculator to get an instant quote using our free scrap calculator. That's PacificRimCoins.com/calculator for an instant quote.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from The Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Get it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4082. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hart. And you, Hardeman's Room. On tap today, it is the random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: the healthiest cities in the good old US of A, and sugary sodas. Not so healthy. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Tate.
Click, clack.
Drinking and drive. All right, here we go. BC police realize a man is nuts when he attacks them with a medieval sword. Meanwhile, when you're being towed and then get a ticket on top of your car, it might not be something that you can afford. A woman and daughter drive across the country to make someone as ugly as they are. Everything from cell phones, sunglasses, and fencing gear is left in one man's car. And 20 alpacas escape a farm and do what they do, which is walk around. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
Yep. And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, a universal truth is that if you drive, you hate other drivers. It's just one of those things, right? Other people, they drive too slow, too fast, too erratically. They don't know the rules. They ignore the rules. Or we just like to encompass it by saying they're stupid. Well, we can probably all agree that this Long Island woman should not be on the road. Last week, she was arrested for driving, in spite of having 52 license suspensions issued on 13 different occasions. Not someone you want to see behind the wheel. However, would you rather drive knowing that she's on the road or Would you rather be on the road knowing that the 18-wheeler next to you is driverless? A company in Texas, Aurora Innovation, they've been testing their autonomous big rigs on highways for the last 3 years. And in those 3 years, believe it or not, there's only been one minor accident. And wouldn't you know it, that crash was determined to be caused by the human driver of another vehicle. Who knows? Maybe, just maybe, the crash involved the mother and daughter team that Miles brought up a few moments ago, who are incredibly anyway. They've been driving those same... Were you shocked by that? I looked at those really, man, I just like, wow. Anyway, they've been driving those very same highways. In fact, they've been driving across the country, and they recently got arrested because they've been giving people illegal butt injections. And do you know why? Because there's a market for illegal butt injections. Now, these are just some of the stories we've come across. Stories that left us with many, many questions. What do you think, Dad?
Yeah, I mean, their faces look like they have illegal butt injections.
Yeah, they really do. Some of the stories come across, stories that left us with many questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question, and this is how it works. You call us, we'll ask you a question at complete random, and after you share your story, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
To be a part of the big show, the random question, call 206-803-ROCK. You can like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Remember when you first saw the potential? And then through some elbow grease, fresh installs, and a whole lot of love, you transformed 100,000 miles and a body full of rust into a drive that's all your own. Look to your left. Look to your right. It's official. No one's got a ride like this. There's nothing else that sounds like, feels like, or looks like the set of wheels in your garage. With over 122 million parts, you can make sure your number one ride or die stays running smoothly. So there's no limit to how far you can take it. Brake kits, turbochargers, engines, exhaust kits, roof racks, LED headlights, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Plus at these prices, well, you're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Owning a business means spending a lot of time thinking about money. Do you have enough cash to pay your team? Restock inventory? Cover the urgent bills? The solution? Banking with Relay to gain total cash flow clarity. With up to 20 checking accounts, you can separate cash for every expense. Payroll, inventory, taxes, so you know exactly how much you have to spend. Get business banking built for e-commerce. Sign up in 10 minutes at bankwithrelay.com. Relay is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by Thread Bank. Member FDIC.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, Patrols, away we go. Welcome to Season 19, Episode number 4082. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeats. Exciting return of your guess is as good as mine. Our categories are just out today. We have a list of the healthiest cities in the United States of America. All right. They are basically what you would expect.
I mean, I can get through like 3 or 4, then I'm kind of done.
Oh, they also put out the 5 least healthy. That would be Brownsville, Texas.
Brownsville, Texas.
That's number 1. Gulfport, Mississippi. Laredo, Texas. Columbus, Georgia. And Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah, it all makes sense.
The least healthy major cities, that would be Detroit and Memphis, Tennessee.
Huh.
as far as healthcare cost, physical health, exercise, mental health, what people eat. Do they eat fruits and vegetables? Do they work out? Are there parks and trails and bike paths? All of the things that kind of make a healthy city. So we've got the healthiest cities in the United States. And on the flip side, we have the 10 best soft drinks, according to voters on the internet.
Okay. Is this worldwide, U.S.?
This is U.S.
All right.
They are all sugar-based drinks.
Of course
so
they are.
Diet Coke is not on the list. No diet drinks. These are all ones.
What do you like? Not what do you drink?
Strangely enough, I like Diet Coke.
I know you do. But you even said that you acquired the taste after basically just forcing it down for however many years you've been drinking it.
And now when I have regular Coke, I'm like, yes, this is great.
It is great.
I still like the taste of Diet Coke.
What about
It's not that much noticeable if you drink. Like, I don't drink a lot of soda, period.
Yeah.
But I'm with Miles. Years ago, I started drinking Captain and Diet. You just get kind of used to Diet. But I like a regular soda over the weekend. I was like, I guess it's better.
Okay, but would you drink a Diet without the Jack? I think if I did a Jack and Diet, I don't think
I
I
don't
would
mind
know.
Diet Coke. Coke Zero.
I mean, look, if you're going to mix it with Jack, go knock it out. You can use RC Cola. That's cool.
We have, since we were gone last week, we have a very, very updated list. Thank you for emailing the men's room at KISW.com for Men's Room IPA from Black Raven. It is in a lot more locations now.
Yeah.
It is also being drank incredibly quick in a number of these bars. I was down in
I saw your
Tacoma
post.
at the beach, and they had already blown through a couple kegs. Man, he said,
You say 3 kegs they went through?
2 or 3 kegs, for sure. So they're doing well there. I know that Olaf's in Greenwood, they've been plowing through.
Oh, yep.
They just got it up at Toski's in Fremont and LTD in Fremont. Some of the haunts down that area.
Yeah, no, Castle sent a text last week, 2 weeks ago. Good news, Olaf's now carrying Men's Room IPA. Good news, they've sold out of it. Bad news, I'm currently at Olaf's wanting an IP.
So we have some updated locations. Obviously, we have a big week here on the Rock. Seattle Rock Day is going to happen Friday. You know the drill. All day long, nothing but the best that Seattle has to offer. We'll do a live auction for Smash as well, or an online auction for some really cool items.
Have you looked at some of the stuff on there?
One of them is to go hang out with us and drink beer.
Okay. Now
Black
look,
Raven Brewery.
it took me a second because they have like official poster art for Seattle Rock Day. And, typical graphics, but there's Pearl Jam, I understand. And next to Pearl Jam is us. And I'm like, what in the F would you put us on here for? So I scrolled through. I'm like, oh, that's right. We're auctioning off an item. Right. The opportunity to go drink with
We
us.
understand you want the Pearl Jam thing. But we do.
Yeah, I could not figure out why.
Stuff.
We do have an opportunity for you to, probably like 2 hours, hour or so. We'll just meet up with you at the brewery in Woodinville.
Officially,
which
2
is a
hours,
great
yeah.
location. We'll just kind of hang out. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got a little after hours.
Just drink beer and hang out and do that thing. Friday, Seattle Rock Day, all day long, beginning at 6 with Taryn and Steve. Then on Sunday, if you have not got a chance yet to try the Black Raven beer, we will be at Muckleshoot Casino.
Yes, we will.
Lovely hour. Big week.
And we're back in the Galaxy Lounge? What's the name of it? I'm hoping we are, dude. That was a cool room.
Yeah, we'll be there from 2 until 5. Again, it's absolutely free. Stop by. I know they might be working on some of the brand new men's room beer brats from Woolies.
Oh, come on. Man,
that might
you
be
guys
on
flew through the
location there.
sausage last year. I remember that. We did not get one.
Hopefully the San
I still
Juan
haven't
pizza,
tried one.
People will be there.
I haven't had a brat either. A couple of people have sent email, and they've been enjoying the brat. They've told us the recipes, throw it on the grill. I'm like, I would just like to try one. I think that would be cool.
I just haven't seen it yet.
I have not.
A couple places that I heard had it, I actually stopped by, and they had sold out.
Ooh. So I had a couple at the Mariners game last Wednesday.
Excellent. A couple of our beers?
Yeah. I just turns out my buddy hooked up with a club level seat, and the bar right behind us, our buddy Jimmy was bartending, and they had it on tap.
How about this? Someone here says the Kirkland Urban QFC has an IPA on tap.
Huh.
Now that's rocking and rolling, dude.
Growlers.
That is growlers. What I don't know. I'm poured in the palms of your hands. Whatever.
Well, I tell you what, we've got all right, it's our kegerator has a keg of Men's Room IPA.
That is correct. Yes, it does.
And there are 2 really old growlers that have been in the refrigerator for probably a few months.
All right. Is there stuff in them?
I don't know. They can't be any good, right? I mean, if we poured some of that beer out and then filled the growler with
just
our
empty
beer,
them out, wash them out, and
take them home.
I think I might do that today. I didn't realize we had growlers in there. Yeah, they've been in there for a while then, if they're in there, man.
They can't be great now.
In fact, Christy from The End, thank you, I can never remember the station. She's making food earlier today in the kitchen. She had the microwave going, and I see her looking in the fridge, and finally she kind of closes it, and I go, what's up, man? She goes, the only thing in the fridge is beer. I go, you say that like it's a bad thing. That is the best news I've heard today.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
But we don't put our name on it, Christy. like you do.
Does she label her food?
Sure.
I'm going to start eating it.
Oh, I always change.
I'm going to
I
take a
change the
bite
label.
of everything she has.
I change the label.
But what I'll do is I'll email her and say, thank you, Christy, for the bite of... what I never knew who to thank before. Thank you for labeling.
Whatever your boyfriend made last night for dinner that you're bringing in for lunch the next day, yes. Today is the day that we do our random question. 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Danny. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Danny, welcome to the program. Let's see here. All right, Danny, you can probably answer this one. What object or thing has struck or hit you? What object or thing maybe it was unintentional, just flying through the air, maybe you playing baseball, got hit in the head?
Well, I think I already told you about my ex-wife throwing a knife at me. So let's go with the second ex-wife throwing dishes and plates at me.
Okay, now, do you only marry women that are willing to throw objects at you, or do you bring it out of them?
Nah, this current one I'm married to is actually not crazy at all. I finally figured it out.
You're not right.
So.
What is going on at your place?
What are you talking about right now?
Yeah, what is all that noise?
I'm at work. I'm a machinist.
Oh, all right. Okay,
that would explain.
That makes sense.
All right. Have you ever been hit by anything flying at the machine shop?
Nah, the machines are thankfully closed. You wouldn't want that. You could die.
No, you would not want that. I agree.
So you're saying that your current wife is not crazy, the one that throws dishes at you?
Right. Nope, she's great.
Well, you have to say
this
that
is
in
wife.
fear.
Wait, this is wife number 3 or number 2?
This is number 3. We just eloped in Vegas last weekend.
Oh, wow.
So you've been married for 1 week, and you're convinced...
We've been together. We've been together for years.
Okay.
Not married.
Is
She's thrown nothing at you.
Is she similar to either one of your previous wives?
Nope. No, the other ones were crazy and had drug problems.
Okay, well, yeah, that goes a long way.
All right, okay.
It goes a long way.
Yeah. I just think it's awful early to make that call.
No, you've been together for right. That's great.
I mean, you've already proven twice. Your judgment might be questionable. Hey, look, I'm guilty. I'm not the expert on this. I'm just saying based on.
We're not judging. We're just warning.
Not at all. Yeah, I mean, trust me. Not saying that there's anything wrong with making mistakes. I've made plenty. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's why you don't ask me.
He should wear a helmet.
Right.
Just wear a helmet.
We just eloped.
I know. We eloped just last weekend. I mean, good for you.
It's cheaper.
It's definitely cheaper, man.
And you don't have the stress of all that stuff leading up to it. So at least you alleviate those arguments or any problems you would have.
How long do you think people plan to elope, right? I mean, is it 1 month, like, F this, let's get married, but let's not deal with all the crap that goes along with the wedding? Or
probably 50-50, right?
I don't know, because, once you plan to, and Mike, you went through that, and Mike, I feel worse for you than anyone else, right? The minute I proposed to my wife, the only conversation we had up until the day we got married was the wedding. And that's fine, except that women tend to stress a great deal about things. One, I did not know we're involved in weddings at all, how important it was that these things are done, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. The only 2 things I worried about, I said, look, I want to worry about booze. I'm dead serious about that. Because no matter what they order, we're going to need more. That proved to be true. And seating arrangements, just because certain people can't handle dealing with each other.
Sure.
But I proposed. We set a date. We got it done. You proposed. She accepted. You set a date. There was COVID.
Yes, sir.
And then there was more COVID. So you basically got dragged through the mud longer than most people I know.
Oh, yeah.
As far as just wanting to get married.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt bad for it. Because the other thing, too, is what I recall is one thing about the bride, in addition to every small detail of the wedding, it's all about making sure you fit in that dress.
Mm-hmm.
And, but they have a target date, right? So with you, here's the target date. Well, now it gets canceled. So what you could gain 1 pound, and apparently that throws everything.
No, you start working out. It's the most insane thing ever. Like, we should go to the gym together. Like, I ask you to go to the gym with me all the time. I know. But up until now, you never wanted to go.
Right.
So why all of a sudden do I need to go with you?
Exactly.
Like, I went this morning. Okay.
Oh, we're getting in shape. Okay.
Right, exactly. I'm glad this is your idea. I'm telling you.
Like, if you're going to go on a walk with somebody or a run, you're both runners. I get that.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. Like, why do we have to go to the gym at the same time? Right. You're probably doing different stuff than I'm doing. Unless you just plan, and, I knew somebody like that, one girl I dated. I'd be like, I'll go with you at the same time, but, I'm not going to talk to you.
I'm not going to talk to you. Another thing, I never go to the gym. Well, you've never known me to go to the gym. Why would this? I said you want to get married, not do you want to get in shape. These are two different things.
Yeah, exactly.
I am not a personal trainer.
Are we running a 10K or are we getting married?
Like, man, I just said, do you want to get married? That is literally all I said. You said yes, and then, but it's like yes with a caveat. And the caveat is 800 other things. Like, I am not going to the gym. I'm not. And listen, I've said this to many people. I will stand by this. No one will actually do it. But if you believe your marriage will last, eat Alfredo every freaking day up until the day you get married.
Yeah.
Take a picture of your big, fat, ugly, unshaven, unkempt hair asses. Take your wedding photo. Wait 10 years. You celebrate your 10th anniversary. You look at the picture, and instead of saying, look how skinny I was, and look at that, that's all you ever hear. You say, man, look how good we look now, baby.
Yeah, I know a girl that did it. Like, they didn't plan it.
For real?
Yeah, she just happened to gain a lot of weight, and then, like, was getting close to the wedding. She was like, well, I'm not going to lose it all. Mm-hmm. But to her credit, right, she'll always look probably better than those pictures.
That's all I'm saying, because it's like, you take 300 wedding pictures. I believe we took 364. My wife will not allow anyone to see the one because she is passed out, curled up in a ball on a chair with an empty bottle of champagne still in her hands. Kind of impressive. She's like, no. I'm like, that's my favorite one. But for all those pictures you take, there's going to be exactly one that you use. Like there's one.
Where? Do you have it in your house?
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
But it's that picture. So to me, I'm like, oh, that's the wedding picture. I'm like, wait a minute. We took like 300 more of these. I have not seen them probably since, I don't know, the first day we got them back.
Right.
Like, this is the wedding photo.
Why
can we just take one good photo? Because that's all we're going to use is one freaking photo.
Let's say it's let's say that this could have happened, right? This is hypothetical, right?
All right.
So if you're with someone, word to the wise, and they're into throwing things at you, like our previous caller, okay?
You don't really know that till it happens, though.
You don't, but multiple objects, all right? If they start to be hurled at you, the only advice...
You mean like in one setting, like they throw the phone, then they need more to throw?
There's something else, and then maybe you have a third object that comes after you. If you have any kind of hand-eye coordination, if you played any kind of sports, baseball, whatever, do not catch each individual item and gently toss them back at them. That
Just throw it back.
You want to piss someone off is every time they throw something at you, you just snatch it and here you go.
This is hypothetical.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, hypothetical.
Don't do that. Like if you're pretty good with your hands, that will really set somebody off.
Try it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Try it again.
Yeah. That was a little bit outside.
I think the worst one I had.
Oh, God. Broadcaster. Oh, a low one.
Ball three.
Yeah, I've said this before. Like, my dad was a massive yeller, right?
Yeah.
He'd scream all the time about littlest things. So I'm not I try not to yell much in my personal life, especially in relationships. But one girl, she was giving me the business pretty good. And the only thing I got out was, are you finished?
Oh, Ted.
Yeah, that went bad.
First of all, the answer to that is no. It's like, I will take a pause and we will revisit this in a week, but like, are you finished? It's never finished. It's never.
But I was just like, all right, like, I'm not going to scream at you, but.
But oh my God, man. We were on vacation last week in Mexico. I don't remember what we were talking about. And a very good friend of ours who happens to live there, we're just chatting about blah, blah, blah. And he brought up something, and then my wife shoots me daggers. And I'm thinking, this is like 17 years ago. Like, how are you still mad? It's never done. Oh, I remember that. Like, but you still sound angry. Like, I'm chuckling about this now. It's funny. Ha ha. How are you still mad? But yeah, still mad.
I can't remember what I ate for dinner yesterday.
I know.
I have no idea. Once it's done, I just go,
I just hear the and I'm like, I guess I must have done that.
All the reason we asked what object or thing hit you, here we go. 2 people in Muncie, Indiana were rushed to a hospital after they got hit by an airplane.
Jesus.
They were walking on a path near an airport when a single-engine plane actually just fell out of the sky. Now, one of them was seriously hurt, and so was the pilot in the plane.
What are the odds of that?
But last we heard, everyone did survive. Even the deputy chief of police said it was a bad day. It did happen on April Fool's Day, so there was that. Then, meanwhile, in Florida, a guy in Naples named Alejandro Otero is trying to get NASA to cover the damages after a piece of trash from the space station hit his house.
That's fair. That's fair, man.
It happened last month at 2:34 in the afternoon. A 2-pound object crashed through his roof, came through the ceiling, and blew a hole in his wood floor. He was not there, but his son was, and a security camera got the recording of the sound.
Sure.
Okay? So the object they tracked was a bunch of depleted batteries. that were supposed to be sent back years ago in a controlled descent. So I guess they missed their ride home after a series of delays. So NASA
just throw them?
NASA jettisoned the batteries in 2021 and basically hoped that they wouldn't hit anything.
NASA, we can't even throw batteries in the trash, homeboy. You can't just, throw them at the planet.
He's waiting to hear back from NASA. They say engineers at Kennedy Space Center will analyze the object as soon as possible to try to figure out
what's going on there.
I like how NASA works. Well, they kind of missed it. Yeah, just throw it and hope it burns up.
The day that this happened, they were monitoring the debris as it was falling into the atmosphere.
Okay.
So some of it was falling in Mexico and then the Gulf and then all these different areas. And eventually, maybe the last pieces ended up in Florida.
Damn.
And went through his roof. You don't want to deal with roofers.
No, you don't.
I mean, I'm just saying, electric, plumbers, roofers. It's a different world. It's a different world. More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
Looking for a job is lonely. Endless searching, phone calls that go nowhere, applications that vanish into thin air. What if you could link with dozens of local companies who are hiring right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, endless opportunities, and no fees ever for job seekers. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
There are any number of reasons you might consider selling your home. That's where an agent who is a realtor comes in to navigate the process to sell your home in a way that's right for you. Because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
It is a random question, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Kurt. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Kurt. Hola. What's happening, Kurt?
Long-time listener. Hey, 1976. I'm cruising home from work, middle of the night, probably 11:30, 12 o'clock, just on my way home. And I'm driving a 71 Mustang. And out of the side road comes this big old horse, slams into the side me, spins me all the way around. Hit by a horse and a Mustang.
So was the horse in question a Mustang?
That is ironic.
Well, it could have been a Pinto. It's a Pinto horse. I know it's a BM.
Yeah,
it is a horse.
It's a Mustang, not a Pinto.
Okay.
Oh, you'd have blown up for a Pinto.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
doubt.
Let me see what we got for you. Okay. Drugs, booze, cigarettes, sex. What did you do to get your fix?
All of the above.
Okay. But have you done anything every day without fail, when we work downtown, there is what they call the smoker's pole, the big long tubular ashtray if you're a smoker. Mm-hmm. And at some point, one of the guys, whether they're homeless or just on drugs, they will come over, they will empty that entire thing out on the ground.
Yep.
Pick through all the butts, find the ones that still have tobacco, load them up, and then what they do is dump the tobacco out of those into the rolling papers and smoke a blended cigarette, I guess would be the best way. That's every day. That's a guarantee.
I didn't know I thought they were just looking for butts.
Some guys will just smoke. Like the butts, the more, having gone through my homeless days, what I discovered was, because I was basically doing what they were doing, they said, look, man, just buy a pack of the drum rolling papers and squeeze all the tobacco out so you keep one part cool, one part Camel, one part this, one part that. Roll it up, and there you have a real weird cigarette. But if you're a smoker and you go through the Nick Fits, that's the move.
From probably 18 till 30, anything that I smoked out of was clean as a whistle. Because I scraped all the resin out of there just to get one hit, to get one little buzz if I didn't have any weed.
Although when you smoke the res, man, that is a hell of a hit. I'm not a big scraper. You're right. Now that we have a little bit of money, I would just buy more weed for sure. Booze, we would definitely consolidate. You know, if there's a sip left here, a sip left there, as much as you could. I mean, anything, man.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, too, like, the little glass pieces are only like $15 or $20.
Yeah.
I just use them, and when they get junky,
too clogged,
just go get a new one.
Well, my problem was I didn't have any more weed to put in there. So
I know. Yeah. It's just lack of weed.
Yeah.
My an ex-girlfriend of mine, she had, I guess it was a lifelong friend. They, since they were children, whatever. But he gotten out of prison, reaches out to her. She says, yes, come stay with us. Us meaning we live together. This guy's going to be there. And I said, babe, do not let this guy stay here. His problem was he was a heroin addict, right? And I said, look, I don't think he's a bad guy, but he has no job. He's going to steal your stuff. He might steal my stuff. She's like, he wouldn't do that. We've known each other, blah, 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 blah. First day, we get home from work. Camera was gone. Stereo was gone. Didn't touch any of my stuff, to his credit, but took her stuff and left a note apologizing. I'm like, I told you this was going to happen, man.
So have you ever done anything to get your fix? Out of the ordinary? Hello. And
he's gone.
Well, the reason we asked, this is nuts, a psychoactive drug.
I mean, there's a lot of versions of this. I would say when I was first starting in radio, I did not have much money. I definitely ate breakfast sandwich out of my buddy's trash can.
I would ram the vending machine that we had at the radio station. But the problem was the only thing that was ever loose enough to fall down into the bottom was Mallow cups, and I hated Mallow cups. But when you're hungry, you're going to eat what you can get, right? So the boss I did this for about 6 weeks, and the boss finally goes, look, man, it's got to be you. I said, it is me. And I'll be honest with you, man. I'm not doing this because I'm trying to be destructive. I'm doing this. You guys don't pay me enough to sustain myself. I got a 25-cent an hour raise.
Okay.
And guess what? I still could not afford to sustain myself, so the Mallow cup still kept dropping like flies.
It was one bar every day of the week in the town that I grew up in that had a hot dog and beer special.
Mm-hmm.
So typically the hot dogs were a quarter. I think they were 50 cents with chili.
Ooh, okay.
So you get 2 dogs for $1, and then they had like 50-cent or $1 drafts.
I would do it now.
This is the days before karaoke, and one place had a trivia game. Buffalo Wild Wings had like a little box that you could play sporting trivia.
Oh,
yeah.
But
that was awesome. But my brother worked at Fridays. We used to love that thing.
Yeah, it was great. You play as teams. You play with people across the country.
Yeah, anytime of day.
Yeah. But to fill those gaps when it's not a Friday or Saturday night, they would offer this deal. So one bar would do it one night, another bar would do it another night.
Okay, all right.
So you could basically go and feed yourself and drink, 3 or 4 beers for $5.
And that was the plan.
We tip like $2 or $3.
They understood. They know why you're there.
We're 21 years old, but we would just basically bounce around to all the deals. So if somebody had a deal and we had just a couple bucks, we knew we could go eat dinner.
We did that. Actually, we didn't eat dinner, but it was 10-cent beer night. And at that, we were like 21, 22. And me and Leon were like, we'd heard of this bar. We'd never been in a bar. And it was a decent enough place, but 10-cent beer night. I think we each rolled in with like $2.50 each. Long story short, we both wake up the following morning in the bottom of the stairwell of that bar. It was like on the second floor of a converted row home. Do not remember being there, but we both woke up on the stairs, real sore. Don't sleep on stairs, by the way. But we didn't know where we were at first because the staircase was kind of isolated from the bar. So it's just a brick wall on both sides of us. There's a door leading out to the street. We're like, where are we? Don't know. Do you remember the thing? I remember going to that bar and basically spending all of our money on 10-cent beers. I'm like, I remember that. What the hell? So we opened the door and we're like, oh, we're still at the bar.
Oh.
Yeah, we basically got lost and they locked us in.
The reason we asked, what did you do to get your fix?
I was going to say, like, look, especially when you're that age, I'm sure there's bars that do it now. We just don't, we don't hang out in the U District.
Right.
But yeah, like, when I lived in Baltimore, the bar we all worked at, nobody worked Monday nights, and Monday nights, when it wasn't football season, same thing. It was like a quarter for a chicken wing or something. So, I mean, that's what we did. On. Right, we did that every Monday night.
Yeah, I got $1.50.
Yeah.
Why not?
A psychoactive drug made from human bones is leaving addicts digging up graves in order to get their fix.
Think about that.
Police officers are guarding cemeteries in Freetown, which is in Sierra Leone, after more people are turning to the drug known as Kush. Now, it's made from a variety of toxic substances. One of the main ingredients is ground up human bone.
Who came up with this recipe?
Human remains contain traces of sulfur, which allegedly can enhance the effects of drugs. I was reading an entire list of things that people cannot believe that people went through to get to a process of what it became. Like, all right, so for an example, the coffee bean or berry or whatever is horrible tasting.
Sure.
So who decided to take the pit out, then to burn the beans, then to grind the beans, then to steep the beans.
Right.
All that process of something that tasted horrible. On the same note, mushrooms. So the same mushrooms that can make you trip your ass off for 8 hours, some can kill you.
Right.
Some you can eat, but you had to eat them all to get there. Somebody had to eat them all to figure out.
Stan, my father's theory of all things, he says, look, some people want to be a hero. He goes, I just want to survive. It's cool to always be the second person. He goes, look, the first person who tried to eat a crab probably meant a grisly time. He goes, so don't do that. Let me be the second guy. So when you landed on the moon, Neil Armstrong after you. Because he goes, look, man, if it's like quicksand or something, you go down. I'm not stepping. It's like, it's cool to be number 2.
It first emerged in the country about 6 years ago and induces a hypnotic high, which I guess can last for several hours. A former user, who's 25, said he gave up hopes of a music career as the drug turned him into, quote, basically a walking zombie.
All right.
Because of the drugs, I didn't concentrate on studies. I did not do any writing. I could not concentrate basically on anything. So he now is homeless, lives in a landfill among thousands of other people who are also addicted to the drug.
And what do they call it? Kush?
It's called Kush. Sierra Leone's president.
Let's not use a weed term for.
You grinding up people's bones and make your drug like, whoa, no, come up with something new.
He said the country is facing an existential threat due to ravaging impacts of drugs, particularly the devastating synthetic drug Kush. He also said the BBC told them that he'd seen hundreds of young men killed by organ failure caused by the drug. Now,
I guess that's the circle of life. What, grind up their bones and make more of the drug?
That's exactly. That's exactly what's going on.
God.
So they have a psychiatric hospital in Sierra Leone with illnesses linked to Kush, which rose by 4,000% over the last year. This is where my friend that I grew up with is a princess.
Hey, congratulations to her.
She's a princess.
Sierra Leone?
She's a princess, yeah.
Yeah, that's not even a fake story.
I'm not kidding you. It's the most bizarre thing. It's the most bizarre story ever.
Because she was, adopted?
She was adopted,
family.
lived in my neighborhood in West Virginia. And we walked to school every day. The whole group of kids walked to school every day. That's just kind of the way it went down. Basically because of protection from dogs.
Sure.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So I get a call from my mom, and she's like, hey, did you know that that Sarah Culberson traced her roots and found out that her father was the king
of Sierra Leone?
That is correct. However, whoever he was married to at the time, that was not Sarah's mom.
Aha!
So the reason that she ended up where she ended up, I believe, is because of the fact that he went, hey, this can't get out. But then she finally went back, met her father, did all the things, and got crowned as a princess. I get an email from her about once every 6 months to donate money to the Sierra Leone Foundation.
You're a princess.
Right.
You're royalty.
But either way, it's
so that's her country where people are grinding.
I don't believe she lives there full time.
Okay.
I think she goes back every once in a while, but and when she goes, she's treated like royalty.
Because she is.
I mean, but royalty, like a Rolls Royce when they pick her up at the airport, like royalty. Like royalty.
I might spend more time there. I mean, if you're getting treated that well, look, if you're royalty, you're not dealing with the stuff they're dealing with, people digging up graves and grinding bones to make drugs.
But when she walks down the street, she has detail. And then there's hundreds of people following her. And they know she's coming to town. And she walks, it's just freaking weird. I'm like, that's Sarah.
But you grew up with her in West Virginia.
Yes.
That had to be culture shock for her.
I mean, this is like coming to America reversed. You know what I mean?
Right.
You go there. No, you're princess. Whatever.
Random.
Hello, Zach. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bichola.
Hola.
Zach, welcome to the program. Oh, we're doing good, man. We're glad to be back at work. It was so boring.
Absolutely. I kind of got confused. I was listening to last Thursday's
Big Dummy
show, and I was like, wait, hold on. Yeah, no, I'm not getting through. Okay.
Yeah, well,
or you did really well, and you couldn't figure out why.
Yeah, sometimes people hear themselves, it was like 6 months ago.
Right, and they're like, okay,
oh my God, this can't be real. All right, let's go with this one.
Dude, it happened to me Wednesday.
What?
I'm like, talk to somebody, and they're like, Are you guys on vacation? I was like, well, it's 3:00. You're talking to me.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think I just skipped work? I was like, I'll just go drink at a Mariners game. Won't run anybody there.
You should know. You should know a particular person's schedule.
Yeah. I will say though, credit to Mike. They're so good, people can't tell, which is awesome.
Well, also,
but even a friend of mine, because we're going to that gay day. They're gay dame.
Who's that gay dame?
Can I go?
We're going to go see that gay dame.
The day game. We met for lunch at 11 a.m. at Red Robin, and he goes, a beer before work, huh? And I was like, man, no. You know me.
Yeah, exactly.
Did it seem odd that Wednesday I was like, let's meet at Red Robin at 11 a.m.?
Right? Okay, let's go with this random question. Who in your life, even if it's now or when you were growing up, did you try not to swear around? Is there a person in your life right now, or maybe, it was your grandmother, or maybe she was fine with it, but your mother wasn't, but, who in your life have you tried to just watch your mouth around?
Okay, so I'll give you a little bipartisan on that last little. So I obviously 2 grandmothers, one on mom's side, one on dad's side. One on mom's side was a Seattle police officer in the 50s, 60s. She's very just be respectful, be courteous, everything like that. So I did not swear in front of her. The father's side grandmother, oh no, she was a hellion. She tried to cut my sister out of my mother's stomach while she was pregnant.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
Is she a hellion or is she crazy?
Definitely dealt with some schizophrenia. But just isolated, lonely, just kind of pushed the world away and just held up in her house.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm trying to think. For my grandfather's sake, I tried not to cuss around him because he was very religious.
Yeah, I did not cuss around my grandparents. I can cuss around my parents now. And it's kind of like the rule I have with my kids. I'm like, look, you're 13 or 12 years old. I know goddamn well you guys cuss. Be smart. And do it with each other. Mm-hmm. Do not do it around me because I will come down on you. I will. And don't do it in front of teachers and stuff. And they're pretty good about that. Although, over this last vacation, and it's not the worst thing you could say by any stretch, but I'm regaling the kids about a story of me getting in trouble when I was in high school, and they're kind of laughing about it. And I won't explain it all. And it wasn't the worst thing in the world. It's not the best thing to do, but I'm explaining, looking back, I actually feel bad. It's just such a massive disrespect. But anyway, I got caught. I got suspended. So they said, well, what did Grandmommy and Pop do? So what do you think they did? My son looked at me and said, beat your ass. I said, sure, everything you could do short of that. So that's what they wanted to do, but they did not do that. But I was like, can you not say that again? He's like, you asked me. I'm like, no, it's fair. And that's the best guess because they kind of carry that vibe about them, but no, they did not.
I tried my best not to cuss in front of my kids, period. And then driving just absolutely wiped me out.
But you can make it situational. I feel like that's the difference.
I just forget. And then if someone, it's instinctual. I mean, as soon as someone does something stupid, I mean, it's flying out of my mouth. And there's a lot.
Well, my wife will cuss around the kids now. And the reason why, because she does the bulk of the driving. But when they were little, I mean, I'm talking like going to preschool kind of thing, daycare. I'd come home and, daddy, because they're really excited to see you when they're little. But the first words out of their mouth is, do you know what Mommy said when she was driving today? And I said, look, man, you don't need to tell me, but I have a pretty good idea that it starts with A's and F's, and they're like, and C's and M's. I mean, like every letter of the alphabet. I'm like, well, when people drive, that tends to happen, but please do not repeat any of that.
I mean, I don't mind cussing around my mother. I still try to watch it just because she's not a big curser. Definitely, Coach Wooten, just out of respect for him, we wouldn't really, even when we were adults and would hang out with him, we still wouldn't really curse much. And it wasn't like a rule. He just kind of had that.
It's just a respect thing, right?
Yeah.
I got a few people like that in my life. Look, and they know I have a foul mouth, but when I'm around them, out of respect for you, and typically they are older. You've known me since I was a child, and you've done well by me. Hopefully, I've done well by you, kind of thing. So I won't do it. My parents, my mom cusses. Drop of a hat, mate. Kill that mother effort.
You could not cuss in front of any coach in high school. Period. You couldn't. I mean, your ass would be benched no matter who you were.
That's fair.
And then in college, you've never heard coaches just say the most awful things. To kids, 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids. I mean, where it was one summer before that, you could not say anything disrespectful. The next, 3 months later, you are absolutely getting lambasted with more cuss words than you've ever heard in your life. And this is just practice. wasn't like it was during a game or anything. It was like day-to-day practice.
It is odd how it wasn't even a year for me. I went to one of my teacher's weddings like 2 weeks after graduation.
All right.
And I mean, it was awesome. So many teachers.
Because he just opened up?
Right, and it's a wedding, so generally, people are a little looser with, like, maybe giving somebody not 21 a beverage. I mean, I'm 18.
Sure.
But they were just cursing up a storm. Everybody was staying at the same hotel. Like, Smitty, get in here. We're going to tell you some stories. It's
Okay.
like, Jesus.
Yeah, the
you guys
stories
been
of the
waiting?
Oh, yeah. I was sharing some stories with my kid, and just the look my wife was giving me, just based on the one story I'm telling them. And I'm like, look, man, I'm just telling the truth about what I did. And the problem was I'm laughing as I said it. I think that's what pissed her off. So I had to, like, finish the story, and I'm like, so make sure you never do that. But in my mind, I'm dying. I'm like, I was so stupid. That's hilarious. Somebody here on the text line says, Thrills kids cussing on the happy hour was hands down the best cuss ever. You have no idea how happy that made them. I mean, that's all they could talk about in the car ride home, just to be able to cuss.
So the reason we asked, who in your life did you try or try not to swear around? This is a weird story. So a 34-year-old man from Pennsylvania, his name is Kylie Good. He was just arrested for stealing from the Lancaster Stormers back in 2021. He's been on the run.
Who are the Lancaster Stormers?
They are a minor league baseball team.
Okay.
I was like, are we supposed to know that?
The Stormers are known as the Barnstormers, and they play at Clipper Magazine Stadium in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. They reported multiple items missing, including a digital projector, an Alexa smart speaker, the team manager's Bluetooth speaker, and around $200 that was stolen from the team's swear jar.
The team swear jar?
He also snagged the team CFO's credit card. He attempted to make multiple charges, but was declined on most of them, except a $26 cab ride. It wasn't hard to pin it on. It wasn't that hard to pin it on him. He worked for the team at the time, and there's security footage of him taking the items. Now, he was originally charged in 2022, but he has been on the run.
He's on the run
for 2 years. He was eventually arrested in New York last week, and he's being extradited to Lancaster. But I just thought to myself, a pro baseball team
as a swear jar
with a swear jar.
I can't believe there's only $200 in it.
What's the offense? How much? Is it based on the word, or is it just based on the F-bomb? All right. That's a high-ticket item, right?
But my understanding of the swear jar, at least in my limited experience interacting with it, it was just any swear word except hell. Maybe you could even get away with
How about damn?
It depends on your age, right? If you're a little kid, look, hell inevitably is a place. It does depend on context. If you say, what the hell is going on? I'm not going to be happy about that. So, but we never did a swear. My kids challenged me to a swear jar once, and no money went into it because I just don't cuss around them much, right? It's loosened up a little bit as I get older. They offered it to my wife. My wife's like, hell no. She's like, I might as well.
It's already done.
I'll just write a check for $1,000 and give it to you guys.
Also,
we can't do that.
And I was going to say, some of those teams are weird, too, because sometimes there's only, like you could play professional baseball without being a single A or triple A or double A affiliate.
That is correct. They have individual leagues.
Correct. So I don't know. I'm trying to look it up, but they might be in one of those leagues where it's mostly just college kids. So the coach was like, yeah, you're not swearing.
And it's Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Which, if you've been there, how could you not cuss?
Real quick, talk about coaches swearing. Gary Williams, who used to coach at the University of Maryland. He was a basketball coach there. Great coach, won a national title, blah, blah, blah. Gary was famous for cursing. So I don't know if it's still the same way, but they used to just have, they would just have open, they would have practice. And there was guys from the Reporter, from the Diamondback, the newspaper of the school, and the Post. And sometimes they would go and just sit in the stands, and they would just write reports about how many curse words he dropped and like how intense. And it was like a rating scale on how much he cursed during practice of like how intense that week was going to be.
Okay.
More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house and owning it. Having an advocate who can help you navigate negotiations, timelines, inspections, and more can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Here's why April chose to vaccinate her child.
I think actually meeting someone who was not vaccinated and now has a lifelong struggle with a childhood disease really cemented for me that it's super important that we as parents continue to vaccinate our children.
Talk to your pediatrician or visit yvaccines.com. Brought to you by Merck.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
Hey, Whatcom County, the holidays are over and lots of Americans are financially drained. Luckily, Bayside Coin and Jewelry pays top dollar for scrap gold, jewelry, and gold, silver, or platinum coins. If you have a pile of old jewelry or a stash of silver dollars, bring them into the store and see what they're worth. Or visit PacificRimCoins.com/calculator to get an instant quote using our free scrap calculator. That's PacificRimCoins.com/calculator for an instant quote.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
And here's a random question 206-803-ROCK. Hello, Matt. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Random.
Hola. Matt, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see. What would you say has been your most interesting experience, either based on the circumstances or with an animal? So, was it the unusual aspect of the animal, or just was it the circumstances of the animal?
This is kind of like, I don't know if this answers the question, but you know that, I forget, it's kind of up north. It's like a zoo where you can like drive through with your car and stuff.
The Olympic Game Farm, I believe it is.
Yeah. Okay. So, I don't know if this is what you're asking, but what came to mind was when I was a kid, when we went and did that as a family, and they give you bread to feed the animals, and there's like, I think there were yaks or something, and I threw a piece out of the sunroof because I was in the back seat, and it didn't make it all the way, and it landed on the hood of the car, and like these two yaks were climbing up on our car, and like it was got a little dicey for a second. I mean, we made it out, but like for a minute we couldn't go anywhere, and it's just we had to wait till they ate the bread.
Did they dent the hood of the car? Because they're big ass animals.
Yeah, just a little one. It was surprisingly just a small little dent, but yeah, they did. But nothing to like, if I didn't point it out.
Okay. Now, one of those big sons of bitches would not take his head out of the passenger side window where I was, and the kids had the bread, but they're in the back seat. They were freaked out because the animal's like, fourth in the car, and we kept driving, and it just kept pacing us. And finally, and it kept drooling on me. That's the other thing, man. So my laps it's wet, but I don't know what's going to trigger the thing. So finally I had to put both hands on his head. And I mean, it's like touching a fur-covered rock. You just realize how thick these things are. And yaks aren't known to be crazy, but I'm like, I was like, okay, big fella, and kind of like pushed his big head out the window.
Would you guys go on a real safari?
Yes.
Okay, look, but think about this. When I see these videos, I don't know if they're all like this. It seems like they're very much open air.
Yeah. If that's the one you do.
They're kind of like the ducks, but they're smaller.
I would not do that.
So,
no.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's no glass on the side. It's open. And maybe 5-6 feet off the ground.
I would not do that safari. I'm very, and
I most of the videos I've seen kind of have that kind of a truck. It's
I feel like that's why they make videos, because something's going to go wrong. And I know the story you're about to talk about, all right? And honest to God, this last week, we're talking to the kids about potential trips we'd like to take in the future. I brought up a safari. And I said, it ain't going to happen anytime soon, way too expensive. Both kids, and you would think as a kid, you'd be excited about this idea. Both kids are like, nope. I said, why, man? And they went through everything that could go wrong. And I said, guys, anything, we could be hit by a car right now. We're sitting at a table on the sidewalk eating dinner. Don't let this stuff. And then the next morning, my wife just holds up her phone, and it has the story you're about to go into. Right. And I said, we cannot tell the kids, because I'm trying to get them to want to do it.
I don't want my kids to do that.
Look, my kids don't have to go. I'm trying to be nice. I want to do it.
Okay, you're right. We could get hit by a car at any point just sitting on the side of the road just having a picnic.
Yes.
You also wouldn't have your picnic in the middle of the doggone road.
Right.
That's what you're doing
correct.
going on safari. You are putting yourself on a dinner plate, rolling yourself through the doggone savannah.
But I'm in a covered dinner plate. I'm not doing that duck style thing. I'm not a complete fool, man.
My daughter sends me pictures of like her sitting on steps outside of a building, whatever it is, with 10 monkeys.
Yeah.
One is like on her shoulder, one's in her lap, and they're all like sitting there. And it's almost like they posed for the picture. But they're monkeys. They're not the little mouse. They're bigger monkeys.
I don't trust them.
All right.
I don't trust them.
I'm just thinking to myself, like, it just looks like that could. They look strong enough where they could rip your.
I think they'd be more just to like take stuff from you.
Well, they take stuff, but what is it? I can't remember if it's like Indonesia or one of those, but there's a particular city, and a lot of tourists go there. I don't know if they still do, but the monkey problem has gotten absolutely out of hand, where instead of snatching stuff from, so it used to be like a monkey would come up and snatch something out of your hand, and people would kind of laugh. Well, now like 8 monkeys go after one person, and like they're beating piss out of people. They throw dogs off the roof. Why would you go?
Babies.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
This is not the happiest story in the world, but a tourist from the United States was killed by a bull elephant last week on an African safari. 79-year-old Gail Matson died Saturday. She was attacked in a national park in Zambia. Now, she was one member of a 6-person safari, and they were doing a game drive that day, organized by the company Wilderness. So at around 9:30 Saturday morning, the guests were on the drive when the vehicle was unexpectedly charged by a bull elephant. Our guides are all extremely well trained and experienced, but sadly, in this instance, the terrain and vegetation was such that the guide's route became blocked, and he could not move the vehicle out of harm's way quick enough. Footage captured by a passenger riding aboard the truck shows a 5-ton bull elephant. This thing is huge, chasing the group. Now, the truck, it was going 25 miles an hour, but the vehicle came to a block in the road. The vehicle was forced to come to a halt. That's when the elephant attacked, and he flipped the truck over and rolled it. God. So the animal was way over 10 feet tall. Think about that.
Yeah.
He hooked its tusk under the truck and flipped it over before the recording cut out. So in addition to the one fatality...
I like that they recorded. You're still recording this. Okay.
Another member of the safari group was severely wounded, and the other 4 on the bus or whatever it was suffered minor injuries. They said, I love this. We can confirm the death of a U.S. citizen in Zambia. We offer our sincerest condolences to our family on their loss.
I'm glad you can confirm that, yes.
Yeah. U.S. Embassy is in contact with the family of the deceased and is providing all appropriate assistance. And continued, we encourage the millions of U.S. citizens that engage in adventure travel each year in attacks to know that they are relatively not happening very often in Zambia and are a rare occurrence. We encourage U.S. citizens considering adventure travel to visit our website for further information on how to stay safe while traveling overseas. See, I would think if I'm on a chartered safari...
That's the safest way I can do
instead of
this.
me just walking, out in the middle of...
that's the idea, right?
Yeah. So that's not a good story.
Would you go on safari, though? Safari comes up, somebody says, hey, man, look, I will pay, because they're ridiculously expensive. But
that's my issue. I just feel like if I'm going to spend that much money, there's other things in the world I'd rather go see.
That's not unfair at all, because you're right. It's like one Super Bowl ticket. But if someone said, look, man, we're going to cover the cost of the safari, would you go on?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to cover the cost, but it's one of those. So the ones I've seen, there are, like you said, the version of the ducks where it's open air. Don't know how I'm feeling about that. There are the ones that are covered, but let's face it, in my mind, that's like dealing with elephants and lions and monkey. If an elephant wants to flip that ass over, that's what the elephant's going to do. Would you do the walking safari, Ted?
No.
Now.
No.
Because anytime
the
someone
walking
goes
safari
on these,
and then
it's a dude with a big stick,
right? And and in a canvas tent overnight in the middle of that with those sounds and out.
That's the one thing I read. It was a woman who went. It was a 3-day walking. So she did a full safari, but 3 days of it they're walking. And the two things I remember most, she said the guide was already like, "Hey, we're getting to a point. I just need you to be quiet," which is already bad news. And so she's looking at the tall grass for lions, as she explains. That wasn't the issue. It's mating season for elephants, and if you are, I guess, upwind from them, they're downwind. If they sniff that you were there, and just like anything apparently in mating season, you just lose your S over everything. So this guy is like sucking out his finger, holding it up in the air. I guess he can sense where the elephants are, so they had to change direction just to make sure. And he explained, you need to be quiet, because if these elephants in mating season, if they hear us, the bulls are going to come out here and they're going to end us. But for whatever reason, that is what they're going to do. So she's like, fine. We survived that. She admitted it was exhilarating. It was exciting, still terrifying. But then that night, we're in the campus tent, and they said, man, as far as the African bush goes, the freaks come out at night. She's like, once the sun went down, like all the things that you'd hope to see during the day on the safari, we couldn't see them, but you could hear them. And she said it's not... You just heard snarling like you've never heard, and then you could hear when something was being killed. Like just the screams that come out of these different animals that are being shredded. Yeah. She's like, you don't sleep, man.
Right. More unique animal weirdness. They say that an elephant never forgets. So they're guessing that Sunny, the Asian elephant, who lives at the Ishikawa Zoo, has gone through some sort of traumatic breakup in the past. A sign near his enclosure warns visitors that Sunny cannot stand happy couples. And wait a minute. I agree with the elephant. Sometimes it's a little much, right?
Liar.
Happy couples, they just maybe look at them so happy. Why can't I do that?
Nobody's truly happy.
Yeah, exactly. It's all just on Instagram.
Damn. That's the elephant saying that. You're not really happy.
No, I can tell you're fake.
So, when he sees happy...
I don't know. Sometimes I see a happy couple, there's still a chance.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. A sign near his enclosure warns visitors that Sunny can't stand happy people and will fling grass, water, and snot at anyone who is canoodling, hugging, arm around each other, arm around the waist, holding hands, any of that.
You think it's from a bad breakup this elephant went through?
They don't know. The sign was uploaded to Twitter by a zoo visitor the past week. Sunny is a 3-ton Asian elephant who, on hot days, can be found splashing around in his own private pool on Elephant Hill.
Yeah.
The website makes no mention of Sunny's peculiar vendetta against loved couples, but the sign spells it out pretty clearly. Here is a translation. To all couples, for some reason, Sunny likes to throw clumps of grass and shoot water and sometimes snot at couples. So please try not to provoke him by acting like you love each other. If you should find yourself a victim of this, please understand that Sunny is only jealous and try not to blame him too much. If you are not a part of a couple and get stuff flung at you anyway, please understand that Sunny is a very odd elephant and try not to blame him too much if possible.
Do you think perhaps, and like, I don't know the elephant brain, but if you're that angry about happy couples, right, it could be a breakup, or even though they mate for life, so it's more likely that Sunny's partner would have died, or do you think perhaps, as happens with a lot of dudes in this country, chicks just don't dig you, and so now you hate everyone,
right?
Oh, what's
you know what I mean? Like
yeah?
incel
What's
or something
incel?
like that.
It's an incelephant.
Yeah, oh, well played, Mr. Hawk. Is it an incelephant, right? Like in the elephant world, other elephants are like, dude, you're just ugly.
I would totally just rub it in the face of the elephant. If I saw that sign, I would take my wife there. We would just PDA the F out of that elephant.
And that's the last thing Mike told us.
I know the problem is he's going to blow snot on you. Elephant snot.
I'll take the snot, man.
Elephant snot.
You'll take the snot?
Oh, yeah.
I'd take the lump of grass. Like
I'm
the
saying
snot's
anything that
thing.
comes out of that trunk is going to stink.
It is. As long as the elephant's not going to kill me, I don't give a damn. I will just absolutely tease that thing.
Given the option of it can stomp your sling snot, like, yeah, I'll take the snot all day. By the way, somebody here says he and his wife, they did a safari last year. They say the open air, no window trucks are because, in all caps, no one has AC.
Oh.
So they're like, look,
okay,
man,
right.
you can be protected and hot or get a little bit of breeze and possibly be ripped out of this thing.
Now, out of all the scenarios, Ted, this might be the one you'd hate the most.
Also, I've done the safari ride at Animal Kingdom. I'm good.
Yeah.
How many?
Close enough. They're animatronic, aren't they?
No, they're real animals.
It's an animal park.
Right.
Like a real giraffe walks over.
But the one in Walt Disney World that was the original one before they built that park, they had kind of like a boat ride. Remember that thing?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that's still there in Magic Kingdom.
They don't
like
put
Jungle
you
River,
with
right?
real hippos, man. Yeah.
It's more like going to Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah.
Which, by the
But
way,
Animal Kingdom has actual real animals. So, like, you go on a little... It's
like apex predators, or are we talking giraffes and that kind of thing? I mean, are they like lions?
Giraffes? Yeah, they got it all. The problem is, though, it's still Central Florida. So, like, you got to get there early in the morning. Because once it starts getting hot, those animals don't do S. They just kind of chill out. But, like, the giraffes are cool, but kind of like your experience. Like, one time I did that ride, and that giraffe just walked over and was, like, stuck his head in. It was like, holy cow.
It can still... There was a photographer, what was it, last year or 2 years ago, and he's taking pictures of giraffes, which, we all assume are docile until you consider lions tried to kill them, so there's a good chance they can fight. Anyway, this guy got too close to the giraffe, and this thing basically swung its head around, or swung its neck around.
Yeah, that's how they fight.
And hit this guy with its head. I mean, it was over. That guy,
Okay. Now, Ted, you're not going to like this one. What would you say is the worst possible animal that you could find in your toilet?
Well, steak.
All right. How about the phrase toilet rat, which is now trending after a guy in Montreal dealt with a toilet rat. His case was just published in a medical journal, which is never good. So the 76-year-old man, he was on the bowl and discovered the rat in his toilet. So he sat up very quickly and decided to remove the rat himself.
All right.
Unfortunately, it bit 2 of his fingers. At least it didn't bite anything else.
Yes.
He goes to the ER where they cleaned the wounds and gave him a tetanus shot. But he was back less than 3 weeks later with a fever, headache, stomach pain, and a rapid heart rate. Not shockingly, it turns out the toilet rat, pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
The guy
Toilet rat?
Yeah. The guy had a bacterial infection called Weil's disease.
Wheels?
Weil's, W-E-I-L-S.
Okay.
That was ravaging his kidneys. It can be fatal, but luckily, they treated him with antibiotics and discharged him from the ICU a few days later. No word on what became of toilet rat.
Wow. Ted, by the way, someone gives you a heads up for if you go to the safari thing at Disney World. When it's hot, the animal, just like the zoo, they're not trying to be out there.
You got to get there early.
But they say rain in the afternoon in Florida, all the animals do come out. Well, take advantage of it. So if you want to sit in the rain to see the animals, you can do that.
I just know that's like kind of the rule with my Uncle Phil. It's like, look, if we're going to Animal Kingdom and it cooks out there, I don't know how to explain it, maybe because it's more open. It seems hotter than any of the other parks.
Well, I think the humidity too, man. I mean, a lot of these animals.
I'm saying you're in the thing, but somehow Animal Kingdom just always seems hotter. So that's always been our rule. It's like you suck it up on whatever day you're going to Animal Kingdom. Like when they open those gates, get in the door, go get on that safari ride, do some other stuff, eat lunch, and then it's like the rest of the afternoon, we'll just go back and swim in the pool.
Are there any zoos that open at night, right? I know they'll do like zoo lights and stuff at Woodland Park, but I'm saying like the zoo itself because, I've been to Woodland Park, we went to San Diego Zoo, we've been to the National Zoo, and when it is hot, to your point, I mean, they have an enclosure. They're not stupid, so they go in the enclosure.
Right.
But you're walking around with your kids, and kids, just like adults, you want to see the mean stuff. Like the penguins are cool, that's cute, but like you want to see the polar bear and the jaguars and the lions and the tigers, and they always tell you, well, it's kind of hot, so they're all inside. And I'm like, well, if every zoo says this, and you know this every summer, why don't you do a night one where they're out, naturally doing whatever it is they do, man?
Now, in my mind, all right, toilet rat, that's bad because you can almost
Sure.
Woman killed with an elephant, that's bad. That's bad. Having snot and or whatever thrown at you.
Gross.
Gross. This, to me, is the most miraculous, crazy animal story of the entire week.
Okay.
Okay.
A wild incident occurred in Oregon late last week when a semi carrying over 102,000 Chinook salmon crashed on a sharp corner and overturned, spilling into a rocky embankment on the Looking Glass Creek. Now, while the circumstances were not ideal, it was not a total disaster, as the salmon, at least 77,000 of them, they believe, made it into the creek down the hill and swam away.
That's an inside job. Tell me that's not an inside job.
The guy crashed the truck. It tipped over where the embankment was. On the embankment was basically the beginning of a creek / river.
Right.
77,000 of the fish. And then the volunteers that came tried to pitch as many as they could in. But the majority of them ended up in this river.
I mean, shout out to those salmon.
Yeah, I'm saying, one of the salmon's like, all right, listen, when we get to mile marker 116, I'm going to slap him in the ear with my tail, and we're free.
And they swam away.
Of course they did.
And they swam toward the Columbia River. So instead of the migration pattern would typically be that you would go upstream if you're in that position as a salmon. They went the other way. So it wasn't their time to do that. So they took off where they're supposed to be. So they're still looking for them, but they estimate that 77,000 did swim away from that area. Now, the driver, he was treated for injuries, and according to the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, they have solid estimates of what the loss of salmon smolts will do for the population numbers. They say it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. There'll probably be a spike in the population in that area based on all those fish. They said there is some positive news of all this. This should not impact our ability to collect future brood stock or maintain full production goals in the future. However, how lucky is it that you
if you're a salmon, yes.
Yeah, that they didn't all just die.
I'm convinced.
That's good for all of us.
The salmon, that's an inside job. Miles, you brought this up before. I believe the lobster on the Titanic, inside job. Because they swam away.
They did.
Ain't a problem for us, brother.
They did.
We're all good. We're going to head east. Get back to Massachusetts. By the way, as far as opening a zoo at night, this makes sense. Someone says the Phoenix Zoo does night tours and they serve alcohol.
Well, they should.
Yeah, I mean,
that
it's
makes
so
sense.
hot.
It's so freaking hot there.
I can't believe they have animals there.
It's
What do they have?
weird,
They have
man.
a penguin exhibit? I mean, what do they got?
Well, I want to say like Baltimore years ago got its hands on a polar bear. And I'm like, that's cool. That's great. And everyone was excited. But it's also 100 degrees with 98% humidity in the summer. I'm like, it's not built for this. So people went to the zoo to see it. It never came out. It's like, I'm a polar bear. Emphasis on polar.
That's what happened at the National Zoo. When I was a kid, like there was always a polar bear, right?
Right.
He never did anything. He just looked miserable. Even as a kid, you're like, what's wrong with the bear? Right, they finally got rid of him, and it was like, thank God. Because that was like a joke as a kid when you went to the zoo. It's like, well, I won't see that bear. Because he's just never out there.
Right, but then it was always a big press release. We have a polar bear. And they're like, cool, where is it?
Yeah.
I mean,
and then you feel bad for that bear.
Yeah,
when
dude.
it's 95 degrees and humidity, and he's just sitting there like, what?
And
the
you're
hell?
miserable, and you're from there. You know he's like,
And you
I did not
can't shave a polar bear. You know, that's not going
it's
to
like fat.
Yeah.
Oh, he was
Shave a
all
polar bear.
Yeah, he didn't have the best looking fur. Like I'm glad he got to go home or somewhere.
Don't they
cold.
have darker skin?
Yeah,
Polar
they have
bears?
black skin.
So
And
you
then
wouldn't even be able to. You wouldn't even know it's a polar bear if you shaved it.
You'd think it's a weird panther.
I think it's a black bear, wouldn't you?
But there's no hair. Are black bears black under the fur?
Yes.
They are black
they?
under the fur. Are all bears black under the fur? Yeah. Yeah. Deep down, brother.
Right, bears are.
Don't worry about my hair color, player.
I mean, look, they all enjoyed Black Panther.
More of the random question coming up 206-803-ROCK.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Remember when you first saw the potential? And then through some elbow grease, fresh installs, and a whole lot of love, you transformed 100,000 miles and a body full of rust into a drive that's all your own. Look to your left. Look to your right. It's official. No one's got a ride like this. There's nothing else that sounds like, feels like, or looks like the set of wheels in your garage. With over 122 million parts, you can make sure your number one ride or die stays running smoothly. So there's no limit to how far you can take it. Brake kits, turbochargers, engines, exhaust kits, roof racks, LED headlights, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Plus at these prices, well, you're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house and owning it. Having an advocate who can help you navigate negotiations, timelines, inspections, and more can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
I'm Sandra, and I'm just the professional your small business was looking for. But you didn't hire me because you didn't use LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn has professionals you can't find anywhere else, including those who aren't actively looking for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role, like me.
In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you'll miss out on great candidates like Sandra. Start hiring professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Your guess is as good as mine. Count up our categories: the healthiest cities in the U.S. and sugary sodas. We'll do your guess is as good as mine coming up after emails on our random question 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola. Chris, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one. Chris, what was your last medical procedure? Your last medical procedure.
Probably when I, it's unfortunately something I have talked to you guys about. It was when I broke my 2 ribs, blacked out fighting a road sign.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I do remember that story.
But the medical procedure with broken ribs
is nothing.
Right. They can't really do anything. Maybe give you a sedative and then kind of send you on your way. I mean, how much time did you have to spend in the hospital for a situation where they can't do anything about it?
Unfortunately, I didn't get in there until 3 days later after midnight coming over the pass. They thought I was drug seeking, so they definitely made me wait that out. I was in the ER for roughly 4 hours.
And did you tell them, I think I broke my ribs?
Yeah, they did not care.
But I mean, my point is, if I think someone's drug seeking, we can figure this out real quick. Do an x-ray. And if his ribs are broken, doesn't mean you're not drug seeking, but you've gone through a lot of pains to get some.
Chris, I got to ask, what do you look like?
A drug addict, apparently.
Well, I'm predominantly German, so I look a lot of things. Like I look kind of Russian, kind of German, mostly white. And I also look like I've eaten too much over COVID, which I actually did.
All right. Do you have like long hair or like? I'm trying to think what would be
the stereotype of someone looking for drugs.
Look, man, I've had many procedures, and I have to tell them, look, I don't need that many Percocet.
Right.
Or I don't need that many. And if I do, and I'm still okay, I'll call you, and maybe you can call in 8 more, or whatever I need. But I mean, to me, I'm the guy who's going to get flagged.
You think so?
It just seems like I'm the guy.
I know you, but that aside, you don't look like what people would stereotype as a drug user.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
You don't. I mean, I know you, so I know different, but I'm saying I would not look at you and think that. I think a lot of people think I'm a drug dealer, not so much a user. Like, forgive it to him, he's going to sell it. And they're not wrong.
Right.
But that's not why I'm there, though. It's like, whatever I have left, I'm going to sell. But I think that's not why I'm here.
I think my last real medical procedure was that hemorrhoidectomy. I did have my nose, what the hell is that called? Deviated septum straightened.
Straightened, right.
That was a little bit weird. I had some work done.
I don't know. I think my last one, probably that when they operated that thing on my neck or the side of my, or I guess it was my cheek technically, but then I could go back to work. It kind of sucked because they stick that tube in the side of your head and it's almost like a colostomy bag for whatever is draining out of your face. I don't know what that fluid would be, but it was this wet, squishy bag, felt like a wet balloon kind of resting on my shoulder all day. Because I remember you guys hated it. And I'm like, look, man, I'm not wearing this to freak you out. I can come to work and I can't really just take it out, so just try to ignore the sack sitting out of the side of my head.
It was just weird looking.
It is weird. Every time I looked in the mirror, and it's weird, man, like it's there and it doesn't bother you. When you look at it in the mirror, it really bothers you.
Oh, yeah.
When I got my arm stapled, when I cut that open, I knew it was stapled, but they had it all wrapped up and that kind of thing. And I was in it for, 3 weeks, whatever. But when they pulled off the wrap and I physically saw the staples, like, it gave me pause, man. It looked like Frankenstein, like someone stapled a different arm onto my body. And even though I had known they were there, it never bothered me until I looked at it. And I'm like, I don't like this. Like, now I'm uneasy around this thing.
See, like, I don't consider my colonoscopy a medical procedure. I know it's
a medical procedure, but it's not like an emergency.
There's nothing that's going on that needs immediate care. This is preventative.
Right.
There's no blood.
Well, there's a little, depending on. I mean, yeah, you might have some of that, but that's more to find out. That's a scope, so you're not really cutting into me or any of those things.
And I guess when I had that varicose vein taken out, that was probably the last.
That's a big one.
Yeah,
and that took a while,
like 4 hours, 5 hours.
I can't remember. I just remember it took longer than I expected. One of the nurses, one of her other jobs was a bartender, and he was like, "Don't you have to go to get to your shift?" And she was like, "I already called." Like,
she wanted to see that.
Yeah.
Did you see the veins when they pulled them out?
Oh, yeah. They just gave me, like...
So you're awake.
They just locals. Right. And then, what's the pill everybody take? It's for antidepressant or whatever. Or
Xanax? Xanax, okay.
So they were the doctor...
So what does that do? Does it knock you out?
No,
makes you not care?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
So you're watching it, but I'm conscious. And they're just like, holy cow. So she was like, no, I already called out. I got to see this through.
I got to see these veins,
And then they're like pulling out one, and they're like, look at the size of this one. Yeah.
Is it all one, or is it a bunch of them?
No, it was like a bunch of them. I can't remember if it had been one, and they had to like do something to kind of
break it down to pieces?
Yes, there was like a bunch. I mean, there was like so many tiny little incisions in my leg where they'd go in, rip some of it out, go in another spot, rip it out. But I mean, like the main thing was after I left, they were like, you got to walk around for a while. I'm just not a big pill guy, so like a couple Xanax, man, I'm feeling great. And then, we walked around Target, just laughing, joking, got home, which you're not supposed to do, but my buddy came over, cracked a beer, and then the last thing I remember was him going, I'm never going to understand cricket. I'm certainly not going to understand it with the way you're explaining it right now. You might need to lay down. I was like, right. Protect those wickets.
Thank you. Somebody thrilled me. Ask what procedure on your neck. Okay, so it wasn't my neck. It was, I'm trying to think. Basically, it's along your jawline, and I wish I could remember the gland. I don't remember the name of the gland, but there are ligaments or tendons.
It's not your thyroid.
No, it's not my thyroid, but it's a ligament or tendon that kind of connects your lower jaw to the rest of your head kind of thing. But I had a tumor growing, picture like two rubber bands, and this tumor was growing between them. And he says about the size of a pencil eraser. Now, understand, when I got CAT scanned, and this guy says, you have a tumor in your head. Like, it's hard to explain, but like you get like tunnel vision, you just feel kind of numb and cold. You're going to suck it up because you're an adult. I'm waiting for most of the rest of the diagnosis. And then the doctor looks at me. And I remember he's like, oh, no, a tumor is just any foreign body. It's not cancer. I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro.
Say that.
You have to lead with that.
But didn't he say if you messed up, you might not be able to talk?
What he said was, so basically they made an incision on the side of my head. They pulled out whatever this tumor was. It was benign. But they have to explain, and I understand, anything that could go wrong during a surgery. And there's obvious stuff. But he said, look, this is a fairly routine surgery. However, based on these tendons or ligaments, whichever one it is, if we accidentally nick one, basically with our X-Acto knife, he said, you would lose control of the left side of your face. But the exact word he used was, and that would leave you unsightly.
Unsightly.
Well, Jesus, man.
Thanks.
I absolutely was not nervous about the surgery until you said that. So the good news is my face still works. Unsightly, that's subjective.
Reason we asked, what was your last medical procedure? A mother and her 18-year-old daughter are accused of traveling across the country to give illegal butt injections for $6,000, according to Texas authorities. Police say that 56-year-old Consuelo Maria Dalbo and her 18-year-old daughter, Isabella Dalbo, were planning on injecting an unlabeled brown liquid into the butt of a customer on Wednesday. However, what they did not know was the customer was an undercover officer. So Consuelo then gave a Xanax to the officer to relax before the injections.
Mm-hmm.
She was paid $6,000 in cash to do the procedure. Now, the mother-daughter duo, they were arrested during the sting operation that was conducted by the Houston Police Department. Officials did seize bags of illegal injectables and medical supplies. Both have been charged with unlawfully practicing medicine without a license. Consuelo was also charged with delivering a controlled substance called alprazolam.
I think alprazolam. I think that's more.
That's probably
alprazolam, maybe.
I don't know. That's got to be something for pain, right?
I don't know.
While out on bond, Consuelo said that she is not a licensed doctor in the United States, but she did attend some medical school classes in Mexico for 3 years.
Okay, I've watched Grey's Anatomy. Come on, man.
Believe me, everything I do, I did it with my heart, and everyone who knows me, they know me. I do it basically because they need it.
Everyone that knows me, they know me?
And not just because they pay me. Prosecutors said the FDA is now in the process of testing these substances to find out what they really were.
That's my favorite part. I don't do this for the money. I do this because they need it.
You need a butt.
Who needs a butt lift?
I'm willing to learn when somebody needs a butt injection.
Actually,
but
you know what?
I'm telling you, that's the new thing. in Vegas, I was shocked how many fake butts there were.
I can believe there's a ton of fake butts, but to say people need this, they don't need it. That said, after a week of vacation, there were 3 or 4 people. Well, honest to God, like, if I were her, I would have rolled up with my business card. Like, look, I'm not making a judgment call, but I saw you. How you could even sit down, I don't understand. You have no butt, and it was so weird.
Mm-hmm. Now, as far as a medical procedure, here's a weird one. 33-year-old Justin Allen. He lives in Horsham, Pennsylvania, which is just outside of Philly somewhere. I guess 40 miles from maybe the middle of New Jersey or whatever.
I feel like we're just hovering around that kind of area of PA today. We had the Lancaster baseball team. I'm like, all right.
He happened to be in the middle of a vasectomy on Friday when 42 million people felt a 4.8 earthquake that hit the East Coast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He was in the middle of the vasectomy when it happened. He was halfway through the 20-minute surgery when the whole room started to shake.
Oh, my God.
He was awake for the procedure, which is normal. He thought that maybe a train went by until his doctor said, "Is that an earthquake?" Justin thought he was joking at first just to kind of lighten the mood.
Sure.
No, it was a 4.8 earthquake, which is not really normal in that area.
It's not normal at all in that area.
So did it affect the procedure at all? Well, it looks like Justin might have never have kids again because the surgery was a success. So they got back to it a few minutes later. Everything went fine. He already has 2 kids, by the way. He tweeted about it as soon as they gave him his phone back. In all caps, he wrote, "An effing earthquake in the middle of my vasectomy."
He's lucky they cut off his jump.
Yeah. He said his surgeon and everyone else in the room agreed they would never forget where they were when the earthquake hit.
I know he won't. I have family in Philadelphia and New York City, because I guess there was one up there. Maybe it's the same one. I don't know. But I have an in-law in New York City. I felt it. But in-laws in Philly, they were like, we absolutely felt it. Said a ricochet through the house. And again, Ted, like you said, that's not a part of the country where you expect that.
Well, it was in the middle of New Jersey, I guess, was the epicenter.
But they're in Philly.
So is that the Pine Barrens, maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know.
They were like, man, we felt it. We didn't really know what it was at first, because that's not even something you talk about to fear. There, you get hurricanes, blizzards, but not earthquakes. Then they started piecing together, this must be an earthquake, because there's nothing else it can be. And I said, whatever, everything's fine. Some things rattled around, blah, blah, blah. And then the next day, we got another text from sister-in-law going, I guess it freaked her out, felt the aftershock. There's one of those that I don't even know if they reported on that, but she's like, this is crazy. How long does it last? I'm like, I don't know.
How in the hell we've been out here 20 years and I've never felt one? What? I mean, there's surrounding areas, like little rumble.
There was that one tiny one, like, what was that?
Were we on
summer?
vacation or something?
No, I was sitting at my buddy's house on his deck, and it was like, I can't remember if it was Mike or VD or Veggie Dog. Somebody texted me. He was like, did you guys just feel that? And we were like, I don't know.
I know my wife's felt the feel. We were talking about it yesterday, and she goes, look, you guys have been at work, and in the years that we've been there, she's like, I've maybe felt 3. Obviously, none of them were severe. And when she'd bring it up to me, I'm like, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. And she's like, I'm telling you, it was not a major earthquake, obviously, but she's like, oh, no, I felt it. And I'm like, oh, baby, it's a truck going by. And sure enough, it was confirmed.
Where was the one that was just devastating? Was it Taiwan?
Yeah, Indonesia or Taiwan. Yeah, it happened while we were on vacation. Because, again, I always say, do not tell me any news when I'm on vacation. I don't want to know that. She goes, that's a natural disaster. I said, okay, tell me. Because here's my general thought on news. There are natural disasters, and everything else is just disingenuous people being idiots. And I don't want to hear about the stupidity. So she goes, well, pretty major earthquake hit. And I can't, like I said, could have been Taiwan, Indonesia. But she showed me a picture, man, and it was unbelievable. Like the skyscraper, maybe 20 stories tall, had fallen over, but it didn't fall over completely. It just landed on the one across the street and pushed it. So they're both kind of diagonal. Like if you took a picture of falling dominoes kind of thing. I'm just like, I am so glad I'm not there. I'm so glad I'm not there.
Yep. And on the medical tip, this is a bizarre one. The parents of a 2-year-old are calling for accountability after a daycare left a toddler without part of his finger.
That seems bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never run a daycare, but that seems bad.
Yeah, just another day, they say, for Tanisha Anthony, who is the mom of the child. And she dropped her kid off, Sean, at the Rising Stars of Farmville, which is a local daycare, about 11 o'clock. Anthony then received a notification from the daycare that the child hurt his finger. So she said that when she got to the daycare, she could not believe what she saw. They unwrapped his hand, and the only thing I'd say was, oh, my God, it was so bad, I couldn't even stomach it. It was that bad. So they rushed him to the Health Medical Center emergency room with the dad meeting, the two at the ER. You got to watch that. You got to let them. There's nothing we can do at that point. Just stand there helpless and go through that. I guess basically when this happened, the daycare employees didn't know what to do.
You're a daycare.
So they tried to reattach this young kid's finger, but were unsuccessful.
How did they try to reattach? Did they?
Surgeons did.
Okay. I thought you meant the daycare.
No.
But also, isn't that kind of half the point of the daycare? Is like, hey, we want to make sure that our kid doesn't damage itself while we're at work or whatever. And then if they do manage to hurt themselves, take them where they need to go.
I think the latter part of your statement is more to the point. Like, we hope nothing goes wrong with kids, but kids are kids. Things are going to go wrong.
They're accident prone, right?
But since they can't really call 911, we would hope that you would do that. That's the thing that blows my mind about the daycare. I'm trying to think, my kids never came home too bad from daycare. They may have gotten in trouble one time. They apologized for taping my daughter's shoes to her feet. I guess she had the proclivity to pull them off and keep throwing them.
All right.
So they kept taping them.
That's a good solution, though.
Look, I agree. As the story goes now, because we still know the woman who did it. So all these years later, I brought it up on the air going, but I'm laughing about it. I'm not complaining like they had to tape her damn shoes to her feet. She goes, well, now everyone heard that, so we stopped doing it, and your daughter just went back to throwing them everywhere. I was not saying it to get you to stop doing it. If that's what you had to do, that's what you had to do. I can live with that.
Daycare, and I think this is worse for my mom. Now, you got to keep in mind, my mom's working, the AFL. She's working 9-to-5 job. So one of the kids we went to grade school with, his mom ran a daycare. So we'd always go over there. And we're all friends now, but you know how kids get into stuff.
Sure.
So my mom pulls up, and it's like I think it was like a Friday afternoon. So I can't even remember what the argument is about, but it has involved everybody at the daycare. And the woman watching us, her daughter and my sister, they're at each other. Like, they're pissed.
Right.
And as my mom pulls up, I remember running over to my mom's car, and I said, I'm glad you're here. I think something bad's going to happen. My sister, not missing a beat on my mom's side, goes, I'm going to go punch Kate. And I remember my mom being like, no, Melissa, get back here. My sister walked right over to her, and I just clocked her.
Really?
Oh, knocked the wind out of her. She fell over. And I mainly, though, like, the girl was fine. It's two little girls. I mainly just remember my babysitter, just my poor mother. And, like, I don't blame the babysitter for being pissed.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm just like, God, that's awful for my mom. Like, can you imagine you get off work and then, like, everything's fine, and then you show up and your kid's like, I'm going to go start a fight.
And then does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, when you can't talk them down. I think the only call we got, and the daycare person even said, look, this other kid had it coming, but some kid, as I understand the story, some kid kept messing with some girl to the point the girl cried. My son and his buddy, keep in mind, they're 3 or 4, had asked that kid to stop picking on the girl. And the kid did not do that. So when they let them outside, my son and his buddy grabbed the girl by the ankle, or not the girl, the guy picking on the girl by the ankles and the wrist, kind of swung him like a jump rope and threw his ass over the chain link fence, like into the property next door. I'm like, what? Because part of me, I'm bursting with pride, man. But you got to be cool when looking at the teachers. I'm like, good. If you're a bully, you should get your ass kicked. But I can't say that there. So as we're leaving, my son, he's still just hyped up about this, kind of upset. And the teacher pulls me aside and goes, that little son of a bitch had it coming. Oh, yeah. Seems like this kid is awful.
Teachers now. The only thing I remember about preschool, this was actually the preschool before elementary, or before kindergarten.
Yeah.
There was a girl, and she hated my buddy Zach.
Okay.
Now, Zach, I don't really think, he wasn't someone who was picking on her.
She just didn't like him.
She was not someone who would share things. Like,
okay, all right.
I believe it was one of those things where, kids, they're doing some kind of activity, then they get distracted or whatever. And apparently, from what I can remember, she was playing, and these blocks were like, the blocks they gave us were like Jenga size.
Yeah.
They were like big ass 2x4s that were sawed, sanded, just different size blocks to play with for kids.
Damn.
Yeah, that's why we had blocks and all that crap. So Zach goes over there to start playing with these blocks, and he's building like his own little version of a tower.
Of course.
And I'm a Jenga tower. And I guess this girl, she wasn't done playing, even though she was doing something else. So she went over and she picked up one of the blocks and she smacked Zach across the face.
Oh, damn.
And, it's one thing to lose your baby teeth.
Not all at once.
But when you don't have adult teeth coming in. So, like, I remember the first 2 or 3 years of, like, first and second grade, because Zach was my best friend.
Right.
He didn't have any teeth. He was just, like, on the one side of his mouth. He
was out of teeth.
He was waiting for the adult teeth to come in.
Oh, damn.
Because typically, if you lose a tooth, that means one.
Right, one's going in.
No.
She slapped the teeth out of his mouth.
She slapped the teeth out of his mouth, but wouldn't lie.
Your guess is as good as mine. Coming up, categories: the healthiest cities in the U.S. and sugary sodas. And we've got your emails coming up next from the men's room at KISW.com.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house and owning it. Having an advocate who can help you navigate negotiations, timelines, inspections, and more can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Here's why April chose to vaccinate her child.
I think actually meeting someone who was not vaccinated and now has a lifelong struggle with a childhood disease really cemented for me that it's super important that we as parents continue to vaccinate our children.
Talk to your pediatrician or visit yvaccines.com. Brought to you by Merck.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
What's up?
Well, it's what's down that's got my attention.
Oh?
Yeah, look at that long snake.
Snake? Oh, traffic. Those are cars.
I know they're cars. I'm being metaphorical. If I were a human, I'd ride that Bel Air airport or shuttle. Look at it. It gets you to SeaTac quickly. You can sleep, look out the window, be productive, and it's in the HOV. Hey, maybe it stands for heading on vacation.
Bel Air Airport or Shuttle with 8 round trips daily. Click airporter.com to book your trip today.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the men's room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Your guess is as good as mine. Count up our categories: the healthiest cities in the U.S. and sugary sodas. But first, time for a few emails. The men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Do a couple of birthdays, guys. I want to wish my son Scott a happy 25th. He is in the Air Force and headed back from deployment overseas. So going to get the captain and Mickey giving him advice on how to adapt back to the American lifestyle. Thanks, guys. That from Kelvin.
Oh, that's a little confusing. I don't know who's going first. Mickey or the captain? Well, you said he was overseas, huh? In the Air Force?
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't be that hard of adjustment, son. You're used to staying in hotels.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. Well, even if you've been overseas for quite a while, that you Capitan, it's easy to readjust to American life because this is the land of the red, whites, and blues. So drink Red Bull, drink White Claw, and ask for blue cheese for your buffalo wings. Crunch Bears.
Captain, I'm getting off this boat.
You weren't invited. We were about to throw you overboard. We're glad you decided to leave on your own.
You had me at Red Bull and White Claws.
All the guys, my beautiful wife Ashley is 40 today. Love you. Hope you enjoy the hell out of the milestone year. We're celebrating with an eclipse, but bonus points if you can give her a quick shout out by talking all over each other about how great afternoon naps are. Thanks so much. Love your show. Been listening since we got to Seattle. Hard to imagine getting around town without you guys. So thank you. That from Dylan.
Afternoon nap. I'll tell you. I think I'm discovering I got older. Let's wake up
I'm terrible.
Recharge your batteries.
Awesome. I can't nap.
What?
Even last week?
I don't know.
I can't do it.
I took a great nap on Thursday.
I cannot do it.
On purpose, though?
Oh, yeah.
4 o'clock in the afternoon, Ted, nap. I'll wake up at 2 a.m. I will sleep the entire
That is not a nap. That is sleeping.
That's what I'm saying. I'll have the best sleep ever and wake up and go, I'm wide awake. It's 2:30. I fell asleep on the couch.
I think you're sleep deprived, Miles.
I just can't nap. I can't control. Once I'm down, I'm out.
I did one good power nap where I don't know how I pulled it off, but I'm like, we're in Mexico. Wife and I have been drinking quite a bit. We're out in the sun, right? So it just kind of hits you. We get back to the hotel, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to sleep for 1 hour, and I do not know how or why. I woke up an hour later, refreshed, good to go.
Yeah,
See, I
wish
wish I could do that.
Like if it's like yesterday's a Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So after I'm done watching all my sports, it's like 4 or 5. Like I could sit there and be horizontal on the couch for like half an hour, and be fine. But if I lay in my bed, I got to set an alarm.
Oh, if it's the bed, yeah, I'm gone.
Guys, today is my husband Christopher's 42nd birthday. Can you help us celebrate with a Suck It Up cupcake, a Your Penis Is Too Small, and a fish sandwich? Guys, rock on. That from our longtime listener, Nicole.
Fish sandwich.
Gentlemen, today's my dad Tony's 70th birthday. Hey,
Tony!
Hey. A terrific dad to me and my sister Melody, and I'm so glad to call him our dad. He's going to celebrate in style with a bicycle trip to the Spanish island of
Majorca, or Mallorca, I believe it's the other.
Yeah. Could he get a hippo fart? The order has been disturbed, and the captain telling him why he's been banned from. Rock on, I love you, Dad. That from Alex.
I think order has been disturbed.
Yeah. And the captain.
And the captain.
And the captain.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. Banned from Majorca, we've been banned from all of Spain. If you didn't know this, Majorca is a part of Spain. It's also the 7th largest island in the Mediterranean. But it all started when we went to Majorca's capital, Palma. And the Cookie Monster got drunk and kept repeating, want a close-up of my Palma. Then he'd slap people in the face. But also, he kept explaining the kind of cookies he really likes to eat. They didn't find it funny, and we can't go back. Crunch berries.
All right, guys, here you go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefly.
Thank you, Mom, and all right. Man, oh man. We got a ton of new locations for the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. Don't forget, this Sunday at Muckleshoe Casino. We will be there from 2 until 5. Glenn Cannon and the Damage Done plan.
Correct.
Nice.
Hopefully we'll have the brand new sausage, the Men's Room beer brought from Elise.
Which someone else has let us know. Fantastic. I believe you. I would just like to try
If
one.
you haven't tried the beer yet, stop by and join us for a few hours of fun at a casino, which is never a bad way to spend a Sunday.
Dude, we did it last year. It was a very, very, very good time.
It's also a really nice casino.
It is. It is.
Hopefully you can stop by and join us. But we do have a few updates, and we really appreciate the fact that a lot of you are sending us emails to the men's room at KISW.com and telling us the locations that you found the beer.
And sending pictures, which is always cool to see, man.
And hopefully it's cool with you if we put those pictures up on our social media to spread the word.
I make sure to ask everybody before I do.
All right, yeah. Ted, this one's just for you.
Hit me.
Just wanted to reach out to let you know. We'll have your Black Raven Men's Room IPA pouring on tap at the Westy Roosevelt for tonight's NCAA men's final game.
Yeah. Oh, I love that bar.
All right, guys, thanks for all you do. That from the Westy Roosevelt staff and Paul and Jean-Pierre. So we thank you guys.
Thank you,
Paul.
man.
Yeah, man, very cool.
It should be a good night for beer sales.
Get their lemon pepper chicken wings.
Lemon pepper?
Honestly, the West, he just does a good job with their food.
They do. They do.
I really enjoy their wings.
Gentlemen, I'll gladly take my last supper as elk spaghetti, garlic bread, and washing down with the new Men's Room IPA. That's from our repeat, right? You fellas hit the nail on the head with this smooth-tasting IPA. And you keep my sanity for the 167 shuffle every night all the way to the Buckley Crawl. Keep on rocking, fellas. That from Roy and Yum, who just sampled it for the very first time.
Roy, we appreciate the words, but again, thank Black Raven for that. We did not make the beer.
This was just good morning, Miles. Good morning. We started off our spring break vacation last Monday by going to the Beach Tavern in Tacoma. While eating fried mushrooms, fried chicken wings, fried oysters, washed all that fried goodness down with the Men's Room IPA. Then the keg ran out again. We only had around a half pitcher, which was given free of charge. Nice work, Manny. Cheers. Hope to see you guys Sunday at the Men's Room World Tour. That from our buddy Robert. And I know that Manny did not have it when I was there on
Were you bummed?
Thursday or Friday. I was happy to see that people enjoyed the beer enough to the point where it wasn't there. So, of course, I settled in for a watery Coors Light, which after walking 8 miles playing golf, actually did not taste that bad.
It tastes pretty good.
I had a surprise Men's Room IPA yesterday. I went to the local watering hole, Ted. I don't know if you noticed I have it on tap now.
Yes.
So I did.
It was just I haven't been in.
Just getting there?
Yeah, I was in earlier last week and wasn't on.
So yesterday, I didn't realize it was there. And one of the guys that runs it, he had asked, hey, man, do you mind if I put it on tap here? I'm like, well, of course not, right? So I go in yesterday. I have typically a different drink order there because they haven't had it. And our friend Becca was working. And so she just poured me a beer. I assume it's the same one. I'm kind of looking at it like, this looks lighter than my normal order. Then I'm like, oh, you have our beer on tap. She's like, dumbass, that's what I put in your glass.
Nice.
I was like, thank you.
Oh, by the way, let's get a contestant on line for your guess. Is good of mine real quick real quick. 206-803-ROCK. A couple of more locations. Bitches. I finally got a hold of the new Men's Room IPA, found it at the Shell Station at 304th and Meridian and Graham. Black Raven hit the spot on this one, and will go great washing down these ribeyes from Stewart's Meats. Love the show. Keep on rocking. That from RB3 and Young. Guy does a great job with the steak, too. Appreciate that. Hello,
steaks
bitches.
do look good.
Took the day off currently at the Black Raven Brewery in Woodinville.
Nice.
Sampling the new IPA for the first time. Great beer, so good, I'm getting a case to go.
Yeah, I saw the picture. I'm like, you say you're sampling, and I clearly see a case on the table.
Fisher House is going to love this. Guys, my wife found the Men's Room IPA at Spud's Produce Market in Olympia.
All right.
Can't wait to try it. Love the show. Thanks for the daily entertainment. Liquor and Horse, gentlemen, I found it at the Clinton Food Mart. Rock on. That from Allen.
That'd be the George Clinton Food Mart.
That's it. Guys, it's Tanner from Kingston, Washington. Found your beer at the Kingston Safeway.
Come on.
Keep on rocking.
You drink the Men's Room IPA.
But there's more. Your beer is at the Rosario Market in Anacortes.
Oh.
Just look for the bright yellow can.
Look for the bright yellow can.
That's awesome. That's usually where I stop to get beer and chips.
Of course you know that place.
Okay.
It is amazing.
Wow, Anacortes is not that big.
Fair.
And they used to have taps in it. It's a good beer store.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
I'll double your fun here. Listen to this. Arlington Hardware has the Men's Room IPA. Nice and chilled. Also has the Men's Room San Juan Salsa. Look out. Here comes a great time. That from the lovely Jackie. I'll give you a couple more. Guys, you can find the Men's Room IPA at the Port Orchard Bethel Road Safeway. Also, the link to the Beer Finder page on the Men's Room page is broken as of the last time I sent this email. Ryan, I believe we worked on that in Port Orchard. I think we got that fixed, if I'm not mistaken. Guys, found the deliciousness up at the Bellingham Safeway. Keep it rocking. That from Ian and Ferndale. So people have been asking.
Nice.
Is the beer in Bellingham? It is at the Safeway. And one more. Hello, Mother. Oh, yeah. After weeks of waiting, Men's Room IPA has made it to Tri-Cities by way of the grocery outlet in Richland.
All right.
Spread the word so we can buy them out and get more over here. Thanks for all you guys do. That from Killy. All right, time for a little Your Guess Is As Good As Mine. It's an easy game to play. We get a contestant on the line. You pick from one of two categories and try to get as many right in said category before 3 strikes and you're out. Steve, who is our contestant, ready to play Your Guess Is As Good As Mine.
Hello, Robert. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, fellas.
Hola. Robert, welcome to the show. And Your Guess Is As Good As Mine. Do you know how the game is played?
I do.
Okay. Your 2 categories, Robert. We have the 10 best soft drinks of all times, as voted on by people on the internet, and just released today, the healthiest cities in the United States. So where do you want to go, soda or health?
Let's go health.
You want to go with the top 10 healthiest cities in the U.S.
Now this,
I got to pick off 10 of them.
There are 10. I think you can do this. The least healthy, by the way, Brownsville, Texas, Gulfport, Mississippi, Laredo, Texas, Columbus, Georgia, Shreveport, Louisiana, the two major cities that are the least healthy. That would be Detroit and Memphis. So they base these rankings on 41 factors, including overall physical health, mental health, the cost of healthcare and quality, nutrition, including fruit and vegetable consumption, fitness levels, and parks, trails, and bike paths. So, Robert, as you know, you try to get as many right in the category before 3 strikes and you're out. So what are you thinking here on healthy cities?
The healthiest city, I think, is going to be San Diego, baby.
San Diego. Number 4 on the list. All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Good start. Good start. There are a number of them on the West Coast.
Okay. So my next guess, fellas, is going to be Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona. Let's look at the list. Oh, there it is at number 8. All right. Congratulations.
Yeah, baby.
All
Yeah,
right.
baby.
You're 2 for 2.
All right. Okay, so my next one is going to be West Coast. I'm going to go Compton, California.
Not really a major city in this instance.
Oh, okay.
So think of the area that's in.
It's in L.A.
Yeah, just it's like saying I'm going to go with Magnolia, Washington.
Oh, gosh. Let's see. So is there some on the East Coast also?
There is one.
Oh, let's go. Where you guys are from? Baltimore, right?
That ain't it.
No.
Do not pick Baltimore.
No.
Do not do that.
I would go with either, like, say, like Seattle, or Portland, or even.
So we're going to stay on the West Coast.
Well, like Miles said, there's only one East Coast city.
And we know where it's not, which is Baltimore. Maybe D.C., because you do a lot of walking.
Correct.
And they have
New
trails
York?
and parks. New York City.
York.
Not on the list.
Oh.
But they do walk a lot, so you got to give them that.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to stay on the West Coast now. Let's go Seattle, Washington.
Let's do that for number 3. There you Seattle is the third healthiest U.S. city.
Woo! Okay.
Based on dog walking alone.
Yeah, let's stay on the West Coast. Let's go. What is it on the coast or like? Is it in? Is there anything in the Midwest?
No, there is some stuff that would be considered mountain time zone.
I mean, I feel
stuff.
like Colorado does well. It's just is it a question of is it Denver or Boulder?
A major city.
Denver. It ain't Denver. It ain't Denver. I promise you that. So let's go Boulder, Colorado.
Major cities.
I would go
That's like
Denver,
saying
bro.
Queen Anne, Washington.
Oh, Denver.
Denver is number 6.
I can't believe that.
What's your beef? All right, forget it.
Well, I've been there. Well, no, I was in Colorado Springs. I'm sorry, I was in Colorado Springs. I wasn't Denver.
All right, fair enough. All right, Robert, so far you've gotten 4 out of the 10.
So let's go Redmond, Oregon.
Major city. So I would go Portland if you're in Oregon.
Think of a town that has more than 10,000 people in it.
Okay, so let's go Portland.
Portland, Oregon. There we go at number 6. Or 5, I'm sorry.
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
So where am I set? Where am I at? I got 1 strike?
You have 1 strike against you, correct. So far, you've gotten Phoenix,
I got-
Arizona, Portland, Oregon, San Diego, Seattle, and Denver.
Ooh, not bad. Not bad.
You were
I'm
dancing
gonna
around
say
one of the cities earlier, Robert, but you named us essentially a
Los
suburb.
Angeles. Los
Okay,
Angeles,
there you go. Number
Yeah, baby.
number 10 on the list.
Yeah. All right. So I'm looking good. I only got 1 strike.
Yes, that is
So,
correct. Yeah.
East Coast. I'm going to say Orlando, Florida.
That's not a bad guess, but not on the list.
Oh.
I'm with you. It's either got to be D.C. or Boston.
Yeah.
I got 2 strikes. I want to say how many I got right already?
You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the 10. So there's 4 cities that remain. 1 is on the West Coast. 1 is on an island. 1 is the nation's capital. 1 has a lot of Mormons.
1 is on an island. Utah. So where is that?
Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City.
All right,
Salt Lake City, Utah.
that's number 8. Okay.
Yeah, baby.
All right, baby.
All right.
So you got 3 left.
Oh, God, I got 2 strikes. Okay, so let's go.
Honolulu? Is that on an island? I would think Honolulu.
I was gonna say Honolulu. I was just up there with my son not too long ago.
Number
Waikiki, Honolulu.
Number 2.
Oh,
right.
yeah, baby!
Miles gave you a hint. He said one is the nation's capital. So I would say Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C.
Let's do that one, too. Okay.
Yeah, baby!
You just need number one, baby.
Oh, God.
Is our
Did I
last
got two
clue
strikes?
number one?
It's West Coast all the way.
It's West Coast all the way.
All the way.
San Fran,
Let me
maybe?
ask you this. Is it in California, Washington, or Oregon?
It is in California.
Oh, God.
You already said Los Angeles.
I'm wondering
You've already
what city
said San
he's gonna say.
Diego.
How's about we'll go with Bob Barker. We'll go to Burbank, California.
I'm not giving it to you.
I mean,
I'm not. Another.
I'm not going to ask because I didn't want his answer.
Another one.
How he got from Compton to Redmond, Oregon, and then Burbank.
San Francisco. I only know because he said
Yes.
it's in. Okay, to this guy's credit, his enthusiasm
Through the roof. Awesome.
People loved this guy.
Yeah, me too. I do too. Okay, number one.
Before you get into it, God, it's going to kill me for the rest of the week. Like, why Compton? And why do you think people in Compton are super fit?
Of all the places around
All the
LA.
things I know about Compton, the first thing that comes to mind
It's
isn't
not
like
bad.
people out jogging.
Minus WA.
Yeah, Compton.
Number one, San Francisco. Number two, Honolulu. 3 is Seattle. 4 is San Diego. 5, Washington, D.C. 6 is Portland, Oregon. Denver, Colorado. 7. Salt Lake is 8. Phoenix, 9. And Los Angeles, or Compton, is number 10. Coming up, we'll drink a toast with the shot of the day. You are listening to The Men's Room.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Remember when you first saw the potential? And then through some elbow grease, fresh installs, and a whole lot of love, you transformed 100,000 miles and a body full of rust into a drive that's all your own. Look to your left. Look to your right. It's official. No one's got a ride like this. There's nothing else that sounds like, feels like, or looks like the set of wheels in your garage. With over 122 million parts, you can make sure your number one ride or die stays running smoothly. So there's no limit to how far you can take it. Brake kits, turbochargers, engines, exhaust kits, roof racks, LED headlights, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Plus at these prices, well, you're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
1, 2, 3, 4. Those are numbers. But you already knew that. If you want to know what number you're going to pay each month for your car, use Kelly Blue Book My Wallet on Auto Trader. They're really good at numbers. Auto Trader.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic. With 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors: pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime. Made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Yeah, baby. Coming up next, we'll drink a toast with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check with Mike Hogg and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Thank you, Miles.
Pet psychics are a thing, and apparently the wait lists to see one are growing.
Come on, man.
Pet psychics.
What?
I don't know.
What needs to be going on with your pet where you believe that you need a pet psychic?
Right, and
if I did, my dog's insane, but I still think it would be, I love my family very much. Yes, I want to smell your ass. I will always take the warm spot on the sofa when you get up to go to the bathroom. I like to eat food, squirrel.
Right. Well, and what is the purpose of the pet psychic? Like, is your dog going through an existential crisis that this psychic is going to try to help alleviate that? Like, telling the future? Are we actually communicating with your pet?
I think a lot of times, we always anthropomorphize any animal.
Sure.
We just do, and it can't help it. And that's probably a good thing. It helps you bond with your pet, but they don't think like we think.
No.
If your dog's anxious, you know the dog's anxious, but your vet could probably give you a decent tip. Why? Because they just, instead of the psychic saying, this is what's going on, the vet says, has your dog experienced this, or this?
Right.
Okay, well, this would contribute to that. But then again, it's your money. You do what you want. I just feel like, come on, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's a new TikTok challenge. Are you guys ready for this? No. The Fireball Challenge.
All right. What is it?
Well, it's where kids are sending themselves to the hospital after they set themselves on fire.
Oh.
Yeah, these are kids actually making themselves into a fireball, and they're shocked that they're going to the hospital. Guys, don't set yourself on fire.
Don't.
And again, when we were kids, there were pain challenges. Like, do you guys remember playing quarters?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Have you never played quarters, Ted?
Oh, the drinking game.
I forget what it was. Have you not heard this one?
I thought that's what you meant.
Yeah.
No.
I'm trying to figure out how you got hurt. You take a quarter to the eye?
No, what you did, I don't remember exactly how it is that you get to this point, but you're kind of like, it's almost like a shuffleboard with a quarter, but then if it goes off the edge of the table, then you get to basically launch it into your buddy's knuckles.
Okay.
You put your fist on the table like that, and then somebody would just basically create a jettison with their thumb and then launch it into the knuckles of their opponent. And I had my friends, they had guffed up knuckles all over the doggone place. But that was the extent of it. We didn't have the let's jump off of a building challenge and see who lives.
You didn't play games that would kill you.
No. Just be smart about being stupid.
That's a good way to put it.
I like that.
Right. We get it. You're going to do stupid things. I get it. We all did. Be smart about it.
But don't light yourself on fire. I feel like, and I read that earlier today, and I got kids that are getting to the age where they might think about it.
Sure.
I would hope that they would say, wait a minute. It was about lighting myself on fire.
Right.
That's dumb.
I used to light my hand on fire, though. When I was working at the detail shop, we had a lacquer thinner that we would use to get certain stains off. And I have my gloves on. I have my black gloves on.
Didn't you just say not to do this?
But here's the thing, Steve, is that I had these black gloves on, and I would dip it in the lacquer thinner, light it on fire, and I'd have a flaming hand for a second, and then I'd wave it off. If it didn't turn off, if it didn't wave out, then I could just take the glove off.
I mean,
we
that's
did it
the
with
issue.
rubber
That's why you
cement
scare,
as a child.
As I say, that's why you scare kids so much with matches and everything, because for whatever reason, kids, it seems like, especially little boys, are just drawn to lighting stuff on fire.
Oh, yeah.
We are, and I don't know what it is, but we're all drawn to it, man. At some point, you just hope to get out of it.
We're kind of interested in destruction, let's face it. That's why we love watching when buildings come down, too.
Oh, for sure.
We love destruction.
America's Funniest Home Videos. Something bad's going to happen to someone.
Right. Well, shoot. Why do you watch, like, monster trucks? You kind of want to see that crash.
I say that about NASCAR, hockey. Yes. You want to see the fights.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being a kid seeing black smoke, and I remember, I don't know how long I was on my bike, but I'm like, I got to find this fire.
Yes.
And it was massive. So I rode my bike back to my house, and I grabbed my brother Chris. I was like, you got to come see this fire.
See this, dude.
We both rode down
right.
at it.
Well, from time to time, when we'll see a fire out here, it's like, I'm going to stare at that for a minute.
Yeah, you're right. We will stare at the window.
So, I don't blame them, but don't be stupid.
Right.
Don't
do it to yourself.
Right.
Yes, Mike, light someone else on fire.
Right.
That is a much.
That's exactly right.
Don't light you on fire. Let your friend on fire.
Burn the bush outside of your parents' house.
Don't worry, you'll get in trouble for it. It's fine.
But you're not going to get hurt. I'm going to be far more angrier about you hurting yourself than setting that bush on fire.
And it's cheaper. It's cheaper if you don't hurt yourself, man.
Right. They'll just plant a new one in there. Or, go thrifting and get themselves an ugly-ass statue that they can put down there. Like a gargoyle. Good job, Dad. The latest list of countries by penis size is out.
All right.
Yeah, it's out again. Okay. Any ideas for our top 3?
I don't know the top 3. I know what they're not. I'm going to go like Sierra Leone. We talked about
I'll say Uganda.
Uganda, not bad. Where you going, buddy?
I mean, are we just picking African countries?
I am.
Where do black people live?
They're my next 5 guesses.
Okay.
Nigeria.
Number 3, Bolivia.
Oh,
okay, right.
South Americans going, yeah, brother.
Number 2.
Yeah, I used to know that couple.
Number 2, Cameroon. All right. And then the number 1, the largest penises on this planet reside in South America, Ecuador.
Really?
Yeah.
Ecuadorians.
Ecuador takes the
Good
top
for
of the
them.
list. As far as North American countries go, yeah, we're number 3 out of 3. Canada's better.
Yeah, Canada did pretty well on that.
And Canada's colder, man.
Right. That's the problem, dude.
Is it the food we eat? I mean, look, I know it's stupid bragging rights, but I like to meet a Canadian who says odds are my penis is bigger than yours.
Okay,
it's stupid.
You were
but
just in the heat, right?
I was. You were in the heat.
You showed different, right?
You absolutely do.
Yeah, I mean, that's serious. All you need is some warmth in your body, and your penis will look a little bigger than it
I
is.
don't know if my D did, but my testicles hung because it was like
Exactly.
82 degrees every day.
Fair enough.
You definitely notice.
Sure.
Seriously, it's like putting on your underwear. I'm like, I did not expect my testicles to reach the cotton at this point.
There's an aerodynamic change that goes on down there.
They're defended. And then what's funny is we got on the plane, which was like a refrigerator, got back to Seattle early, basically midnight
Run!
Sunday morning. Man, you can almost feel them curl up.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just
They hit your stomach on the way
I'll see you,
up.
Tussie. See you in July.
They're lifting like the wizard at the end of the movie. Goodbye.
Basically, they go into hibernation again.
Right.
What you get is funny because like Easter weekend was gorgeous, great weather. I was wearing shorts the whole weekend.
Yeah,
and then I feel like it was Wednesday
turned to crap.
After that game. It was like it is getting cold. Damn weather.
Well, fair to say that pulling things out and checking sides is something that you shouldn't do at a grocery store. And in fact,
that is fair.
There's a handful of things that you shouldn't do at a grocery store.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
10 rude things you probably shouldn't be doing at the grocery store. I don't know if this is rude, but it's goddamn annoying. It's bad enough that there are only 1 or 2 checkout lanes open that are manned with a human. What makes it worse is when the sweet little old lady who probably only gets out once a month to buy her cat's fancy feast because they're on sale and there's a digital coupon, but Meemaw doesn't know how to use the app, so the cashier takes her sweet-ass time helping said octogenarian download the app, then shows her how to open the app, then look up the coupon for 43 cents off a can of the 24 cans of assorted gourmet flavors. And then the bagger decides he's going to arrange them by flavor in individual bags and then get into a debate with the cashier. I just want to buy my handle of whiskey and bananas. Murder is still a capital crime, right? Asking for a friend.
And of course, these stories tend to come from real places for our friend VD, who did.
Handle of whiskey and bananas.
Well,
I know who he is.
He's a complicated fella. So these are rude things that you probably shouldn't be doing at the grocery store. They do say helping yourself to your haul before paying is what they put at the bottom of the list, which...
eating your food in line?
If you're honest about it, if you pick up a soda or you want to open a bag of chips, just make sure you put it on the bill.
I don't know that I've eaten, but I've definitely drank stuff before.
Okay.
Yeah.
More so than that. I have a really weird time with people who eat and walk. Even if you're in the grocery store. I just don't understand the concept. I never think I'm going to get a hamburger and walk around and eat it.
Okay.
Like, I sit down and I
settle down, weirdo.
Right. I don't like, I'm going to get a hamburger and walk down the street.
Right.
Like, I don't do that. I don't care if it's walking food or not. And there are exceptions. Apple, a banana, something that's like
corn dog.
Corn dog, you're at a fair. That's fair. But just generally.
Yeah, if you're at a fair, right. But I'm with Miles. I don't know why.
It's just
I hate it too. If I see somebody eat like actively eating their lunch as they're walking downtown, I'm like, stop.
Steve and I were outside one day, and a guy had like either a 6 or a 12-inch sub from Subway.
Oh, dude,
and he's got the bag like gnawing on it, walking down the street. I'm like,
what are you doing?
This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
The old man used to do that when we were in Costco. You know, they got that whole snack section area that's over there. He'd go over there and he'd get a bag of something and he would just nom on it while he was shopping. He'd still buy it, but, it's not like he's emptying the bag of anything from Costco, but it's still there.
It's not even important. It just bugs me. I don't know. You're not doing anything wrong.
No.
It is what it is.
Sure.
And I
you
just
haven't
want to
paid for
slap
it yet.
that food out of even if you already bought it. Like, can you just wait to eat it? I don't know why it bugs me, but it does. There's nothing important about this, but I want to hurt you.
It's interesting. I just feel like you need to sit down to eat.
Sampling food. Mash.
Depends on the food. I had some very delicious last night.
Grapes?
I did have some grapes last night.
What time were you in the grocery store?
I was at a buddy's, and he had some of those delicious cotton candy.
Oh, yeah, cotton candy.
So I don't know if it's a
Look
season.
at me. You've been going on for years about them. You know what they're called.
They're delicious.
So then you went to the store and ate grapes from there?
I did not. My buddy had them at a bar.
So, Miles, let me ask you this. Would you open up a package of doggone strawberries and take a bite out of one?
Oh, my God.
Strawberries, no.
Okay.
Nope.
So I just went over the line.
If it's in a package. I mean, that's
whatever. Grapes are in a package.
It's just, but it's open.
So,
what qualifies as open?
Right,
I mean,
the strawberry one's open air too. It's perforated.
You got to lift a lick.
So same with the grapes.
Grapes have a Ziploc on them, and they don't even zip. Dumbasses.
It's their fault. They make it too easy.
I mean, if you went to the potato chip aisle, right, and there's a big ass bag of Lay's and they're open.
You're damn right
You might
I would.
reach in there and take a chip.
You ever go to the bulk candy and just grab one?
I used to do that with banana chips.
I used to do it when I was a kid and get in trouble.
I mean, as a kid, I go like, I get it. You're a kid. I don't know. It's inviting. As an adult, and look, I've wanted to, but Well, I won't say the box of Pop-Tarts in the grocery store in line. But we were like in our early 20s. There was a Safeway around the corner.
It's $1.99. Who cares?
Well, we were super broke, but we wanted Pop-Tarts. We could afford it. We would get it. And the line was super long. They had one cashier, so we actually got in line with Pop-Tarts. We ended up eating. We ate them all before. I mean, and the line moved like halfway.
Sure.
And me and my buddy Paul just kind of looked at each other. And it's like, well, I mean,
they're not here anymore.
And we left.
Yeah.
That wasn't our goal. It just
eat
worked
it
out
before
that
you
way.
check out. It's free.
Oh my god!
Yes, that's the rule. You can eat this before you check out.
Rude
No
things
charge.
that you probably shouldn't be doing at the grocery store. Not putting items you no longer want back where they belong. I get so tired of walking through the shelves and I see things that have no business being there, especially if they're like a frozen or a refrigerated.
Yes.
Something that will spoil if it doesn't go back to the environment that is created for it inside that store. Gang, I get it. You don't want to walk all that way. Who cares? Walk your ass back over there and put it away.
Or if you have kids. I mean, this is what I learned from my parent. Put this back in the...
Right.
It's 40 aisles away. It's in the back corner.
That was one of your early missions as a kid, dude.
And you'd sprint your ass off.
Yeah.
That's what kids do. Yeah.
Gaming the express lane, they say. 10 items or less, but I got 11, but I'm not going to tell anybody.
I mean, if you have 11, I'm not, like, fine.
It's supposed to make the line go faster. You're now ruining that entire thing. Good job.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody really... You're really only annoyed when it's like...
15 items.
Well, I was going to say, what's the cutoff?
Because here's the cutoff.
I go
if you
about
look
15.
down on the belt and it looks more than you think it should be, then you start counting.
What's the limit? What's the limit on self checkout?
Is there a limit on self-checkout?
I don't believe there is. No. You're that, and I've wondered that myself. Like, do I have too much crap for this
I
self-checkout?
don't think so, because it's not an express line. It's just self-checkout.
If you got too much produce, maybe. Because you
Well,
have to type in all those numbers.
Well, you're going to end up calling someone over.
Right. Or get good at typing in the numbers.
Yeah. One of the two.
Bananas, 4011. Rude things that you probably shouldn't be doing at the grocery store: cutting the line, which I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why they put that on there, but
where is that cool?
Right.
Like, when is that good?
I don't know
with
how
anyone?
you could.
Right. You're standing in the line. Now, I've been invited ahead because I've got a soda or something like that, and some very nice folks that have a full card will look at me and say, come on up. Or I will do the same thing. If I turn around and I see somebody who has nothing, get in front of me. Come on.
I did that at Starbucks a couple of weeks ago. Little old lady, she's right behind me. And I thought, you know what? You go ahead. You look confused. That woman ordered drinks apparently for the office. And I'm like, I will never be nice again.
Right.
I am
What's wrong
not
with
going to
you?
do this night again.
Why would you accept that if that's what you were going to do?
Because I'm being nice and she was playing my ass.
No. I'm talking about her. Why would you
She was
accept
playing me, Mike.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Old crusty.
Or sometimes, I don't know, like lines aren't forming in a line.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can just look at somebody and be like, dude, I saw you two here. Just go ahead in front of me.
Right.
I'm in no rush.
There you go. Number 2, leaving the checkout line to grab another item. Again, this is where kids
Are
come
you
in handy.
kidding?
Kids.
Right. But you got to do that before they start checking you out.
Right.
If the person in front of you still getting rung up, like, okay, I need you to go to aisle 4 and sprint your ass off.
Right.
I'm with you. When I was a kid, for some reason, that mission always seemed fun.
It was great.
And my stupid sister never knew the correct aisle. I'd be like, no,
I got this.
me, Mom.
I got this.
Yeah.
And you
She's not stupid, but I'm sure I said that.
It's better than the opposite way around where you end up just sitting there staring at the cashier while your mom's going to get the stuff and they're just starting to ring everything up.
Yeah.
I don't have money to pay for this. I don't have it.
It's like sitting in an intersection and you're like, oh, God, I'm in the middle. Let me make it through this light.
Right. And then you hear about, as you get older, you realize if you were that cashier, if you're checking somebody out and their kid's standing right there, I am scanning that stuff as fast as I possibly can. I'm going to give that kid anxiety. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
All right, kid, it's $28.99. Pay up.
Somebody here says, retired people at the grocery store on the weekends, that's the ultimate rudest thing. You got all damn week to get things done.
No kidding.
The rest
What are
of
you
us
doing?
have 2 days.
Right. Get your ass in the grocery store.
Oh,
I have all
trust
my
me, they're in there
appointments
on the
midweek.
weekday. I understand what he's saying, for sure.
Yeah. But then the number one rude thing that you probably shouldn't be doing at the grocery store, and I can agree with this, there's even a dedicated TikTok to it, leaving your cart in the parking lot.
Yes!
You ever see that guy Cart Narcs?
Cart
No.
Narcs?
Cart Narcs. This guy pisses so many people off by running around the parking lot, and he'll throw like magnets on the cars of people that basically say, I don't return my carts or something like that, and they get so pissed. He's like, all you have to do is put your cart back, and I'll take that magnet back.
And
Don't touch my car!
My thing is like, look, we have established that we are incredibly lazy in this country. That is why they even do the cart collector thing in the middle of the parking lot.
Right.
Like, we're making it easy for you because we already know your fat, lazy ass is not going to take it up. So we just put it right here, and you still won't do it.
A woman received a speeding ticket in the mail, but there's one major problem, Miles.
What was that?
About it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. Have we made it to drinking time?
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house and owning it. Having an advocate who can help you navigate negotiations, timelines, inspections, and more can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car right in your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is. As usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast a group of tourists in Australia. Now, the tourists in question, they were on a whale watching tour that was following a known pod of orcas. And that's when they realized the pod were chasing something underwater. Well, it turns out the orcas, they were chasing a pod of sperm whales. The sperm whales, they fended off the attack by forming what they call a rosette circle. That's a defense move where the whales huddle together with their tails pointed outwards, and that way they keep the youngest and the most vulnerable tucked in the middle. However, over a period of 90 minutes, the orcas would not be dissuaded. Several orcas would dive dead to the center of this thing over and over. And each time they dove, the water turned red. And we get red again. And obviously the tourists, they were appropriately horrified and fascinated as nature displayed its brutal beauty. But the assumption, of course, was that the calf was being ripped apart. And that's what everyone was left believing, feeling a little sad when they finally ended the tour. But marine biologist Jenna Tucker, she reviewed the video footage, which could not believe this particular attack, and she discovered it was not blood and water. It was poop. Apparently, sperm whales engage in what they call defense defecation, where they can poop so much and it smells so bad that would-be predators, including these orcas, they determined it's not worth it. The calf was absolutely fine. So apparently the reason that their poop is so red is because of their squid diet. Right? And it all makes sense.
Yep.
But again, the tourists on the boat, everyone's just silent, like, oh my God, ate this baby whale, and it's such a horrible thing. But this biologist did not get the opportunity to tell the tourists, dude, it wasn't blood, the calf's fine. It's just poop. And sperm whales are absolutely fine. The orcas left the scene. So to the tourists, it wasn't as bad as you thought. They were pooping. It wasn't blood.
That's just human nature. Yeah. Someone's pooping, you leave them alone.
You leave them alone. Well,
you leave them alone.
Actually, the marine biologist lady, she's like, look, at some point it gets so thick and so bad that the killer whales, as she interprets it, say it is not worth it. And
same with going in after my grandma.
So they pour this booze, and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Hey, Stephen Throwhill, could you please, everyone, now Profile This is played.
Oh, I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Justin. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola. All right, Justin, you understand how this here game is played?
Sure do, Thrill.
Fantastic. You have your choice of one of three stories. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in the food? We have Hit Me With Your Best Shot, where you guess the unconventional weapon that someone chose to use as a weapon. And finally, Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
Miles, what are you feeling?
Hit me.
All right, here is your story. A strip club patron, he was walloped in the face with something by a female worker. This is not the first time it has happened. This seems to be happening with some frequency now. It was not her boob, Mike. Now, police were summoned to Body Talk. That's a topless club in Port St. Lucie, Florida. And they went there to investigate the battery on the male customer. Now, the victim told the cops he was talking to several employees of the establishment about his career and acknowledged that the women were, quote, upset that he had not provided them any tips. So the man, apparently ignorant of strip club etiquette, said he didn't see any signs stating that tipping was mandatory. Well, the employees were upset that the victim had not thrown money at them, which was a common practice there if you've ever been to a strip club. Anyway, a friend of the victim told police that the man was drunk and he'd been talking about having a lot of money but not wanting to provide a tip. Well, Victoria Jones, she wasn't having that. So she told the sheriff's deputy he was drunk, he was being rude, he'd been following employees from table to table to verbally assault them. So finally, she picked something up and threw it at his ass and struck him in the face. Now, surveillance cameras, they recorded her and the victim exchanging words before she hit the man and followed up with an open hand strike. So she also bitch slapped his ass. Anyway, she was arrested for battery, which is a misdemeanor. The question is, what did she hit him with? And keep in mind, we're in a strip club. So was it a champagne bottle? Was it a chair? Was it money? Or was it a shoe? So bottle, chair, money, or shoe, what did she hit this guy in the face with?
Oh, man. The first thing, I'm thinking, a stiletto to the face, that would cause damage.
Yes, it would.
What are you guys thinking?
I'm thinking it's either a champagne bottle or a shoe.
I'm going chair.
Oh, chair, huh?
Old school.
Morgan Wallen.
From the 6th floor.
You know what? I'm going to go champagne bottle.
Champagne. Okay. All right, Justin, what are you thinking?
So we got chair, champagne bottle. Let's go shoe.
Shoe. Okay. What did she hit this guy with? A champagne bottle, a chair, money, or a shoe? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
I'm Sandra, and I'm just the professional your small business was looking for. But you didn't hire me because you didn't use LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn has professionals you can't find anywhere else, including those who aren't actively looking for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role, like me.
In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you'll miss out on great candidates like Sandra. Start hiring professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Remember when you first saw the potential? And then through some elbow grease, fresh installs, and a whole lot of love, you transformed 100,000 miles and a body full of rust into a drive that's all your own. Look to your left. Look to your right. It's official. No one's got a ride like this. There's nothing else that sounds like, feels like, or looks like the set of wheels in your garage. With over 122 million parts, you can make sure your number one ride or die stays running smoothly. So there's no limit to how far you can take it. Brake kits, turbochargers, engines, exhaust kits, roof racks, LED headlights, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Plus at these prices, well, you're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Category City with your best shot on profile. Let's get a man at a strip club who was hit in the face by an employee with an object because he was not tipping the entire time he was there.
That is correct.
Also got slapped in the face. Question is, was he hit with a champagne bottle, a chair, money, or a shoe?
And Justin, that is the very question that we pose to you. Let us start with the Ted Smith.
Oh, not champagne.
You went with the bottle. Yeah. It was not the bottle. That would have been awesome. Miles Montgomery, you went with the chair. Old school.
I did.
It was not a chair. Justin, that leaves you. You went with the shoe. No, she hit him in the face with cash.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Which seems like a dumb thing to do when you're mad at someone who's not tipping.
Was it already wrapped and together?
I don't know, man. I'm assuming it was.
You can do it insulting too.
Well, I mean, if someone hits me in the face, I assume it's an insult. But yeah, I mean, it was cash.
But if you're talking about money and you obviously don't at a certain point, I'll just be like, here, right?
Right. Yo,
screw
God,
you.
Yeah. That would be a move. That actually made me mad and you didn't even do anything.
I know. That's what I'm saying, right? It would be insulting.
Now for all TV news all time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right. A lot of choices. First, you got the Jimmies.
Fallon Kimmel.
You have Seth Meyers. Weekend Update. Bill Maher. Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It's right there. The title rights guys have teams of talented writers helping promote their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joking from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
There is a solar eclipse taking place on Monday at 1 p.m., and some of the best spots to view it are in Texas and Ohio, which, when you want to talk science and moon phases, Ohio and Texas are definitely the first two places I think of.
I think it's The Ted Smith.
Bill Maher.
Smith. All right. I left you out, Tennessee, but don't think I didn't think about you. United Airlines was a United Airlines flight forced to return to an airport after the toilet broke and leaked into the cabin. Though it's the perfect punishment for people who take their shoes off on planes.
Weekend Update.
Weekend Update.
A United Airlines flight from Germany was forced to return to the airport after the toilet broke and leaked into the cabin. Though it's the perfect punishment for people who take their shoes off on planes.
Black & Decker recalled 2 million steamers because they can expel spray and leak hot water during use. So be careful. Your steamers might be steamers.
Valid. Yeah, valid.
That's valid.
Black & Decker has recalled 2 million steamers because they can expel spray or leak hot water during use. So be careful. Your steamers might be steamers.
It's kind of the point of a steamer.
Yep.
It was just announced that Toy Story 5 is coming out in 2026. And you can tell Andy's getting a little old because he spends the whole movie turning his old toys into bongs.
Bill Maher,
weekend update.
Alan.
Some entertainment news that was just announced that Toy Story 5 is coming out in 2026. You can tell Andy's getting a little old because he spends the whole movie turning his toys into bongs.
Iowa's Final Four game against UConn was the most watched women's college basketball game ever, with 14.2 million viewers, beating the previous record by 14.2 million viewers.
SNL.
Yeah, SNL?
Yeah, it's SNL.
Iowa's Final Four game against UConn was the most watched women's college basketball game ever, with 14.2 million viewers, beating the previous record by 14.2 million viewers.
Look, I do not know Michael Che.
Right.
He is a very good comedian. He's one of the head writers. But, I mean, he's been kind of hammering the women's basketball.
Oh, absolutely.
So I was like, and I see people tweeting at him. I know you see some of the, I don't know, like that Rough and Tumble pub, right? Pretty famous, kind of around the country, but it's mainly women's sports. They'll show other sports.
Yeah.
So, I saw them tweeting at him, and it's like, yeah, Michael Che, that is just fuel to the fire.
But he knows
I don't
what
think
he's
he
doing.
really hates women's sports or
It's a
anything.
joke.
It's a joke, but I'm just like, he is not going to stop hammering that one. Tomorrow, I don't know. I look around, the numbers will come out, but did anybody in here watch the women's championship game yesterday?
Yep.
I saw some of it, yeah.
Yeah, I made a point to actually watch it. First,
Castle and I got to the bar a half hour early so we could get to good seats.
Was it crowded?
Yes. Yeah, it was packed.
And I don't know. I mean, look, UConn, to me, UConn's men's basketball, I guess you would almost put them in that realm of a blue blood.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
With Kentucky, Duke, Carolina, Kansas, obviously UCLA on the West Coast. But UConn's men's basketball is right there. But for whatever reason, and maybe it's just Clark from Iowa's women's team has just been that excited. It just seems like the women's tournament has gotten more attention and has been more fun to watch.
Well, Connecticut women are typically there.
They are. They had a dominant. They were there.
The women are better than the men half the time.
Correct.
Connecticut-wise.
Right. But I'm saying their men's program is super good, too. But I don't know why.
Tonight.
And I'm like, maybe because some of the men's blue bloods aren't as involved this year. Like Duke went out. I don't know. It just seems different. It seems like most of the juice and what everybody's talking about was the women's tournament. I mean,
definitely a lot of hype.
So what's the Dolphins' record for their undefeated season? I mean, there weren't as many games
14-0. 17-0 totally.
Yeah.
I know Brady was almost there, but lost in the Super Bowl.
Correct. They were 18-1.
South Carolina, 38-0. 38-0. No one's talking about that. That is
right. And they
crazy.
were undefeated all of last year. The only team they lost to in the tournament was Iowa. Mm-hmm. Then Iowa ended up losing to LSU. So, yeah, I mean, look, I've watched it. It's not uncommon for me to watch. I don't watch a ton of women's hoops, but when you get to this time, I do. I certainly watch the women's national team. I've been to rain games, seen plenty of that, but I don't know. You can hear it in my voice. I'm just annoyed with the internet after the last few days with women's basketball, because it's like if you say anything, then it's like I don't think you have to crap on it, but then some people, it's like I just feel like we're really kind of pulling apart what people are, and it's like, look, everybody's watching the damn game. Isn't that the point? Isn't that what we're hoping for? That you get more everybody's into it now. Okay, so I don't think it's. When I watch football, and Mike, I'm going to use your wife as an example. She doesn't shy away or be like, when she talks about Travis Kelce, be like, yeah, he's attractive. I don't think she's hurting the sport to say she finds one of the football players attractive. No. So same thing. Look, I can watch that whole game, but at some point I was like, yeah, 24 on Iowa.
The blonde?
Yeah. So I mean, but I don't think I'm not taking away from the sport. It's just kind of a natural thing. I think it's great for the women's game.
They have fun.
Yeah.
There's a difference in the fact that they high-five each other all the times, they huddle up all the times, they regroup all the time.
Well, that's just basketball.
Right, but I think if you like basketball and you just like the purity of the sport, you see it a lot more with the women's because they can't just go up and dunk all the time, right?
Correct.
It's not built that way. So, but you watch the fundamentals, executed exceptionally well. So you kind of get back to just what basketball is in its purest form.
That freshman was just knocking down threes for the
which was sick.
Yeah,
God.
yeah. Well, the other thing I would say too is that if you follow the women's game, like there's just not as much money with NIL.
Nope.
They're going to make more money in college if you're a big star, but like those girls don't leave early. So when you're a fan of a team, you get to see that team kind of come to fruition. Whereas like when you look at tonight, like Purdue's got a very good team. I think UConn's going to beat them, but UConn's kind of, it's a different team, but it's kind of the core nucleus has stayed there.
They're not talking about transfer portal stuff.
Well, it helped, right? And of course, it helps when you win a national title. But I'm just saying, like that to me is the difference with the women's program. The people transfer, but they just don't leave as early. Like I feel like for the men, I mean, it's literally a one and done. As the NBA was like, no more coming straight out of high school.
You have to have at least a year.
You got to go play somewhere, right? So it's kind of one of those things. But either way, I thought it was great for the game. I don't know if that, I mean, look, I don't know if that translates into watching the WNBA, but a lot of things don't.
I think it will in the sense of once you get a star that people want to watch the progression of their career, you'll follow them as they get to the only team they can play for, right? Exactly. Right. So I think it just builds up. It really does. Give it a couple of years, man. They'll be absolutely fine.
Well, and let's not pretend that athletics is the only place where we notice where people are attractive. You can like a movie and also find like the lead actor or actress attractive. You can watch foot. But you mentioned my wife. How she finds Travis Kelce attractive. She also enjoys watching football.
I thought it was Gardner Minshew.
She also loves Gardner Minshew. Right. She is now a Las Vegas Raiders fan because of it. But
I could rattle off a bunch of women footballers if we need to.
We watch WWE every week, and we enjoy watching it. But also, it's hard to deny that the people that are doing it are attractive. That's part of it. It's not insulting. It's not the prime reason and the only reason why we're watching stuff. We're also engaged in what it is that we're watching.
Yeah, I just said I just was reading stuff, kind of checking it out there at halftime, and just maybe that's just the way social media works anymore.
It is.
It's like you gotta hate it or love it. It's like, look, I think it's great for the women's game. I did not think that game yesterday was awesome. Not the greatest thing in the world. So I would feel fine tweeting out like, it's kind of a stinker of a game. And then you're going to get one side that's like,
well, hopefully
you got to love it. It's like, look, you can admit it. I watch almost every Seahawks games, and there's some times where we'd come in and Thrill would get annoyed with Mike and I saying, and we're just like, they suck. Yeah. Like they're winning game. Like they beat Cleveland. We were like, they shouldn't have won that game.
Well, hopefully we'll get a good one tonight.
I hope so as well. It should be interesting because you have two powerful big men. So it's like they should kind of X each other out. And then I would think it just comes down to guard play.
Everybody else. Right? Yeah. I mean, the rest because like you said, they're going to cancel each other out in theory. So everyone else has to step up. You have to step up in this game because your go-to just met his match.
Yeah, it's just going to be harder to get him in there and stuff.
But make sure you comment how attractive you think they are. Well, why don't we just do that? And he's a good-looking guy. Is everybody happy? All right. Does that work for you? Jesus Christ.
I know. It's just like, man, we're all into it. What's the problem? But no, like I said, it was good. And hell, Friday night, that UConn women's and Iowa, I mean, that was arguably the best game of the weekend. I watched that one. It was a fun old man evening. Watched little women's college hoops. Then I watched Burt Kreischer's movie, The Machine, and then I watched Formula One qualifying.
You know, when you say I watched little women's hoops, I'm picturing like little people playing hoops.
Oh.
Little women's hoops. No dunking.
That's a different league.
I think the two teams should get together afterward and play donkey basketball, then make it 2 out of 3.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Change the game.
I mean, you can do a lot of things. And I will say this. What I will remind people is this is the time of year whenever you get through the tournament, you get around Easter, it gets a little warmer. Everybody wants to go out and shoot the basketball and stuff. Yeah. If you think it's that easy, like I promise you right now, go somewhere and just use your jump shot, your J, put up a 3-pointer from like the NBA line, even the college line now. See,
all legs. You got every bit of your legs.
See how well that goes for you. I mean, some of that stuff, it's like, Jesus, they're good.
They're stupid good.
Yeah, and with Clark, I mean, like Friday night, I was just like, geez, like I don't know, she could just create and get her own shots off and everything. She is just on it. Let's see, Miles, you mentioned it earlier. We're talking about basketball, the NCAA men's championship game. That is UConn versus Purdue. I don't know why they still play halves of the men's game. Some people say it's supposed to make it more competitive.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know. It's been annoying me for 2 weeks. And I feel like it's split down the middle. Some people are like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, it's the only level they do it in. It seems odd. But I did a little research, and apparently they made that change because they thought it helped with the flow of the game instead of quarters, and it would allow the lesser teams to have a better chance.
Like get on a roll,
like a press standpoint, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It still boggles my mind. I know a lot about sports, and to me, that even works against my way of thinking. I'm like, man, if I'm the sucky team, I'm hoping for 4 quarters.
Yes.
That's right. And let's get rid of the shot clock.
Thank you, Taylor. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. BC police realize a man is completely nuts when he attacks them with a medieval sword. Meanwhile, when you're being towed and then get a ticket, it might not be something that you can afford. A woman and her daughter drove across the country to make someone as ugly as they are. Everything from cell phones, sunglasses, and a fencing gear thing was left in one man's car. And 20 alpacas escaped from a farm and do what alpacas do. They walk around. It's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
John, we're going to Ohio, where a woman got a troubling piece of mail. She brought the post inside of her home and opened up a letter that informed her that she had been caught speeding. Inside, they included a photograph of her van traveling past the speed camera that snapped the evidence. But there was one flaw with the photograph. You see, her van had failed her as she was going about her travels one day, and she noticed that, she solicited the services of a flatbed tow truck, which was carrying the van as it rolled past the speed camera. She's since taken the ticket in and contested it, but was told that she would have to battle the private company that owns the camera for whatever reason in order to get the infraction expunged.
Wait a minute. So if you're caught speeding, you know she was not speeding. It was on the tow truck that's speeding.
Right.
You owe the city, state, whatever.
Correct.
But to get out of it, you got to take it up with the camera people.
Right.
I mean, guys, pick which one it is.
Exactly. So am I paying the camera company the speeding ticket, or...
I get the feeling, since it's made national media, I get the feeling they'll let it go.
Yeah.
And do their typical stupid apology, like, oh, it was an oversight. It's like, it's not an oversight. It's a picture of my car in a goddamn tow truck.
Right.
Then I'm not driving.
And especially with the fact that I can go to court and you tell me that I have to go to the private company. Come on now. What are we doing here?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
What are we doing here? In other news, speaking of paying for things that didn't happen, let's go to Colorado, where a couple are being held accountable for their crimes. A man and his wife are being ordered by the courts to pay $23,000 in restitution to customers that they defrauded with their tree trimming business. The reports go that the couple offered tree trimming and general repair services to local residents and would then pocket the money and run. The report claims that they executed this scheme against more than 50 victims. They've been tracked down by local authorities and brought to justice.
Take it up with the trees.
Right.
That's how you guys operate. You got to take it up with the tree. The manufacturer of the products we would use to take it up with steel.
Exactly.
If that's how you guys operate, let's do this.
Well, and then basically what they would do is they'd knock on they targeted, older neighborhoods.
Of course.
And they would either pay in cash or they'd pay in check. And if that was the case, then the husband would stay behind and he'd clip a couple, branches here and there. He'd do a little bit of work while the wife was going and cashing the check. As soon as the check was cashed, she'd come back, pick him up, and then they would just take off. Yeah. Good job, everybody.
Yeah.
Down in Texas, an illegal cosmetic operation has been busted by local authorities. A woman and her 18-year-old daughter were charged after they drove across the country to administer a butt injection to a patient for $6,000. They made the drive and began the procedure with their patient, giving her a Xanax to help her relax before the injection, proceeding to load the needle with an unknown brown substance. Unfortunately for our amateurs, the patient was an undercover officer carrying out a sting operation.
It was also high in Xanax.
I was going to say, did they take the Xanax?
All right.
Man, he can be under arrest in a minute.
Time to bust these guys. The two were arrested and their supplies were seized and are currently being tested. They face some serious charges.
Yeah.
And you're right. The mugshot is worth a look for sure.
Ugh. You know, when you say cosmetics, I just make the assumption, even if it's artificial beauty, that you're good looking. And
Right.
they put it this way.
Strikes me, it works.
If they came to me for something cosmetic, I'd be like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
And again, I hated her quote. Ask anybody who knows me, they know me. I don't do it for the money. I do it for people that need it.
Well, first of all, the statement, anyone who knows me is about the most redundant. That is true for all people.
Correct.
People that know me. That is why people
That
say
doesn't
they
mean
know
it's
you.
good.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
And again, I understand people could want it.
Sure.
As far as how they look, they could consider themselves having. I need to get a butt injection. I need more of it. Okay. Nobody needs it.
No.
I do this for the good of humanity.
When you need it, doctors do it.
Correct. We've all left something in a car one way or another. Some folks have the misfortune of forgetting items in an Uber or a taxi. And then there's this story out of Spain in which a taxi driver uploaded photos to social media attempting to reunite an owner with his fencing foil and mask that were left behind in his car.
Damn, dude.
The company also took the opportunity to lay out some of the other items that were still waiting to find their owners. 3 pairs of prescription glasses, 5 sunglasses, 3 cell phones, 5 sets of keys, 2 wallets, 2 umbrellas, a hat, a book, 2 document folders, gloves, jackets, vapes, 3 pieces of cutlery, a bag of medicine, and a watch.
I get most of those, but the fencing thing, I just assume if you're in an Uber with your fencing foil and mask, you did something that involved your fencing foil and your mask. Correct. It's not like you bring it around like your wallet. Your wallet's always on there. Your glasses are always on. I take my fencing foil everywhere.
And I 100% agree with you. And if I was a betting man, I'd say he was coming from a fencing competition or something.
Or did poorly in the upcoming event he was going to. Damn it.
And just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth,
thankfully, there's good news.
A man in Illinois has raised some money for charity and broke a world record in the meantime. He set out to beat the standing record for most squats in a 24-hour period. Idiot.
All right.
Which was set by a man back in 2020 where he was able to muscle out 25,000 squats in 24 hours. Our hero started his mission at 5 a.m. Thursday and squatted all day and night, taking 30-second breaks in between sets of 22 squats, and was able to come up with a final total of 26,100 squats, which is still being verified by the Guinness team. Damn. In the meantime, he has also raised funds during his venture, collecting donations that he gave to a local charity that provides employment opportunities to adults with developmental disabilities. Speaking of doing good for charity, let's talk to Fisher House, because the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing continues to spread about the Pacific Northwest. Our buddy Jason out in Spokane ordered Men's Room IPA through his local Total Wine.
Oh, nice.
So it's all the way over there on the east side. We also did get a text that Bryant General Store has the Men's Room IPA as well. And
all right.
You can find a comprehensive list of locations on the Men's Room page of KISW.com. Men's Room Sports. The Mariners are on the hunt for their first series victory of the season.
Uh-oh.
As they're in Toronto taking on the Blue Jays as we speak over on Root Sports. And they're doing a piss-poor job of it.
That bad already?
4-0 in the top of the 5th.
Jeez. That was a clunker we went to. Was it 3-0 after the first?
Pretty much. Doggone it, guys. Come on. Can we get it together?
Yeah, seriously. It was like, this sucks.
As far as your weather, it's going to be a lot of what we saw today. Spotty showers all night long into tomorrow. Supposed to be cleared up by the afternoon and stay nice for the rest of the week, with temperatures hitting the mid-50s. And that is it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thanks, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Sit and Spin. We'll go on our farewell tours. The lovely Kevin Years is up next.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.